Welcome, everyone, to yet another reaction to another One Piece chapter. What is it? 1156. That's a Gomu chapter. We got another one of those because it ends in 5-6, of course. In case you guys haven't noticed, my hair probably looks a little bit different. I got a big haircut, and I'm not wearing the hat, so hopefully that's not too distracting. Hopefully it's the opposite. Hopefully it gets nice and normalized and looks all right. Just got the haircut the other day, and I gotta say, with how hot it is in Ohio, it feels so good to let my ears breathe and my neck breathe. That was part of the reason. I tend to only get my haircut like once every 6 months, so it's like super drastic. But yeah, hopefully it looks all right. Like I said, we got another Gomu chapter here, and I mean the last few chapters of One Piece have been just absolutely insane. Probably Oda's craziest run of all time, or it's definitely up there. If you were to have a conversation about Oda's craziest runs in One Piece history, this is undoubtedly in the conversation. It's like, you might have MJ and LeBron in your GOAT conversation. Maybe some people are going to throw, I don't know, Kobe in there, maybe Wilt. There's a lot of names. But it's got to be in the conversation, right? So I'm ready for 1156. I haven't heard a single thing about this. I'm not spoiled. I wasn't even given warnings or anything, so I have no expectations other than the cool name. What was the name of the chapter? I saw it whenever I clicked it, like Idols or something. I have a lot of ideas of what that could mean, but I don't actually know. So I'm super excited. Also, major shout out to all the goats in the chat. I see the chat going crazy. I appreciate you guys. First off, shout out Mick Pulsar for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate you. If we were 1 day forward, actually no, if we were 7 hours forward, I would be able to join you in giving 5 memberships because YouTube gives me 10 every month. But we already gave those 10 away this month. So I'm going to match you on the next stream, Mick Pulsar. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Who else we got? We got Quanidin, member for 14 months. I'm always intrigued by Quanidin's chapter ratings. 11 out of 10. So last week we talked about this. The chapter rating scale is broken, right? The old chapter rating scale that we used to use, we had to change it because after the last few, what used to be a 10 is now a 9.5 or a 9. You know what I mean? So now whenever you're saying 11 out of 10, if we're talking the new scale, I mean that's insane. So I appreciate you, Quanidin. 14 months is crazy. Thank you so much. ZMP323, my guy, fresh cut captain. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I usually don't get it cut this low, but like I said, it's been way too hot, man. It's been too hot. And now that I do these headphones so you can actually see my ears, I was like, you know what, we're gonna really let him breathe today. We're gonna, no hat, no nothing. So I appreciate you, ZMP. And then Biori, GG, one of the literal goats of the Discord. If you're in the Discord, you know who GG is and you gifted, what was it, 5 memberships? GG, I appreciate you. And you know what? I really hope you find that the Blue Raspberry Crush that I've been telling you about. Biori is a big fan of Sprite Chill, which I gotta be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of, but if you did like it, I would understand why. Some cherry flavoring doesn't appeal to me, but it's a lot of people like that one, so I don't know. Hopefully you find the Blue Raspberry Crush soon, Biori, for real. Also see a lot of other goats in the chat. Angry Gnome, I see you. One Piece Sage, I appreciate you. You said this week we'll have some conversations. I'm excited for that. I probably shouldn't be looking at the chat just so I don't get spoiled, but you guys are usually pretty good. There's also Cliff over there who's voicing his excitement for the chapter. Obviously, he's always pumped for these. This is his favorite time of the week. Rare Dak L on the cherry lime Sprite. Listen here, Birch. Maybe I need to go have it again. If I can stumble upon it again, then we'll see. But I don't know, the Blue Raspberry Crush was really good. What else did I have recently? It was because we talked about this too. I'm in Ohio, Central Ohio, and Central Ohio is one of the biggest test markets for like new food products or restaurants to sample new things. Like when I used to work at Chipotle, whenever they would sample a new thing, like the chorizo or like what do they have now, the honey chicken or something. Central Ohio and San Francisco and LA, I think, but California and Central Ohio were like the test markets. And it's so random. You would never expect that from Ohio. So basically we have lots of different options here for snacks, and like we get some stuff that comes here that never makes it out to the rest of the country because I guess we're like the gatekeepers. So anyways, maybe I'll go find some new good stuff. John Stoops, member for 15 months. Can't stay out with the girlfriend. Enjoy the chapter deck. Hey, John, I appreciate you even taking the time to say that, but you go enjoy your time with your girlfriend, my friend. I did not, this isn't my usual time, you know, so I totally get if you're busy, no worries. I was debating on doing this tomorrow, but then I was like, we got a One Piece chapter out. I don't want to sit around all night, you know, thinking about what this could be. And I'm also working on like 4 different videos right now, like, well, 2 that'll definitely be out over this break, because I heard we have a break next, right? There's a magazine break. It's not an Oda break that's coming up. So because of that, I can pretty much guarantee I'll have at least 2 videos out over the break week. I almost had a second one out last time, and I could have probably rushed it, but thought it might be good to wait, so we'll see what this chapter has in store. But yeah, I appreciate you, John. Thank you very much. And then Kush Daddy, my guy, with a $2 super chat. Ozzy Sabbath or Ozzy Solo. Rest in peace, Ozzy, by the way. We've had a lot of celebrity deaths lately. Ozzy Sabbath or Ozzy Solo? I don't think I'm well versed enough to answer this with a high degree of confidence. I think I'm gonna go. I want to say Ozzy Solo, but again, I don't have a good frame of reference, to be honest with you. Why don't you let me know what your take is and inform me, because like I said, I don't think I've listened to either enough to really have a say. But I'm gonna go Ozzy Solo just out of respect for him, because he's one of the goats. You know what I mean? So yeah, rest in peace, Ozzy, for sure, for sure. But all right, looks like you got to chill in VC with Vex and I. If that's to me, if that was directed to me, because I don't want to read the other chats above, so I might be wrong. I do absolutely need to do that. You're right. So yeah, maybe you guys need to educate me a little bit on that for sure. But all right, guys, it's time to get into the chapter. I know what y'all have been waiting for. So One Piece chapter 1156. I forget the title already. Idols or something. I don't know. I'll see it in a second. More importantly, we have this cool cover page here with Pokemon in One Piece. Well, Pokemon in Shonen Jump. I think there's a lot of other Shonen characters, but I see Pikachu and Luffy over there on the front. So that's some solid marketing. What other Pokemon we got here? We got Totodile. We got Chikorita. Is that Gallade or Gardevoir? That's Gallade. Tepig. Well, we got Tepig on the front. Where's John Sherrod at? Is JJ in the chat? We got Tepig on the cover, like not even the back, because like this whole image I'm pretty sure is like the front and back, right? Yeah, because I see a little symbol in the middle that'll be on the spine. So we got Tepig on the front. So hey, to all the Topman Warcury fans out there, because I know those exist, y'all got to win this week. Who else we got here? Let's see, Mega Gengar, Clefairy, Wobbuffet, Eevee, Mega Blaziken. Is that Mega Absol? And is that Mega Garrett? Are they doing a bunch of Megas for the they're doing a bunch of Megas for the next game, which I'm kind of hyped for, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like Dragonite's design. I know it was a little controversial for people, but I was kind of a fan. Is that Mega Garchomp back there? What is that? That's a cute Meowth. That is not a normal Meowth. All right, well, hey, I like the Pokemon collab. Do more of this. I might buy this issue because I like the fact it's got Pokemon and One Piece on it. Those are like my 2 things. Speaking of Pokemon, I think I mentioned this last time, but I got the Switch too, and multiple times this week I wanted to stream either DK Bonanza or whatever, and I only have 1 capture card, which I forgot that I have to use for my camera, and so I went to multiple stores trying to get a capture card, and none of them had it. And so Switch 2 streams are coming. It's just without another capture card I couldn't do it. But anyways, now we're past the cover. Now we're on to the color page. Now we got another cool thing to look at, so this is kind of dope. Oh, we got the Wings of the Pirate King theme going on here. All right, I love this. I love this. We got Sanji and Scopper on the side, Rayleigh and Zoro. And you got Luffy with Roger, and then even Nami made an appearance, which is interesting. Oh, and the rest of the crew did too. I didn't really see them in Luffy's pockets, I guess is what he's doing. That's a cool color page. I'm a huge fan of this one. That is really cool. It's interesting how Nami is the only other normal size one, other than Luffy. I see Brooke up there with the red afro. Interesting. All right. That's cool, but now it's time. Now it's time for the good stuff, and I'm really happy to see this black background because that means we're still in the flashback. I mean, we could have presumed that, right? But you never know when these flashbacks are going to end. Like, sometimes Oda stretches them for multiple chapters, and sometimes he cuts them off and then saves the rest for later. Kaido's flashback comes to mind for me whenever I think about times I did not expect the flashback to end so quickly. But I'm so happy to see we're still in it. So anyways, I think we left off with Rock's, like, we see Rock's pirate flag, and it said that they're gonna make the world quake in fear or something like that. So anyways, before the Great Pirate Era, back in those days, certain idols roamed the seas. That was some pirate attack. Why aren't any of you fighting back? You guys are useless. They've taken everything. Wait. They've taken everything. You men are hopeless. They were strong. You didn't lift a finger. Now what are we supposed to do? Even the Marines could not oppose this group. So now, that seems to be Boa's fruit. Well, no, not fruit, because I guess we don't see anybody turning to stone. That was the first thing I thought of. Whenever I see hearts flying everywhere, that's what I think of. But Kuja, definitely I'm thinking of. Oh, and there's their ship. They were known as the Kuja Pirates, a crew that hailed from the elusive Isle of Women. So we're getting a little Gloriosa montage here. All right, no complaints. A fierce and stunning pirate band, off limits to men. Pirate band? Are they just saying like a band of pirates, like not actually music? Because, you know, with One Piece, I'm going right to actual band, but I'm guessing that's not what they mean, but we'll see. I grow weary of my own beauty. Day and night, it always goes this way. Will I ever be free to shed it? This picture of perfection? Captain Gloriosa is a goddess. So, guys, I gotta say, thinking back to, like, Gloriosa, aka Elder Neon from Amazon Lily, like, it's pretty funny that, like, she did the same thing as Boa, you know what I mean? And it's just, to see her do the same exact thing, like, a whole generation before, and just, like, with the way her and Boa's relationship was, like, I think it's just so funny that she was the exact same way. And I would imagine all the Pirate Empresses were, right? But it's just funny, like, how we got that glimpse of Elder Neon, you know, in current times, and now we're getting the backdrop, and it's like, oh yeah, she was just like Boa, like, 100%. Empress of Amazon Lily, captain of the Kuja Pirates, Gloriosa, future Elder Neon. She's unbearably cute. I'm in love. Her radiance is making my mind go blank. My heart can't afford to beat this hard. It's exactly how they were at Amazon Lily with Boa as well. Empress Gloriosa, here are your new fan letters. And bro, she's got, look at that. She's got a treasure trove. You see that in the back? You see the giant basket? Bro, she ain't reading all those. I'm telling you that right now. She's got a secretary. It's like whenever you, I mean, if you send a fan letter to your, you know, favorite celebrity or even politician, sadly, they aren't reading all those. They got people to do it for them. Tritoma, what about all those back there? Yeah, isn't that? Oh my, it is future Empress of Amazon Lily. I thought that name was familiar, but wasn't it? It was something that ended in Toma. I couldn't remember, but we're meeting this person. Oh, those are for Lady Shaki. There are 100 times more. Oh, okay, so Gloriosa, she didn't get the whole smorgasbord back there. She only got the little bit. Those back there are for Shaki? Yo. Is there going to be, like, some jealousy about that? So anyway, so we got this other Empress of Amazon Lily, which Oda introduced in an SBS already. So we knew this girl existed, but it's interesting that we're getting her introduced now. How could she? Upstaging your own captain is a total betrayal. Even her angry face is like an icy gem. Indeed, the only one said to outshine the radiant Gloriosa, the star of her era, was none other than her first mate, Shaki? Now, wondering how this all works out timeline-wise. I'm going to look up, hold on. I want to... Oh, here it is. I just want to look at that SBS thing real quick. Okay, so, got it. So it went Gloriosa, then Shaki. So at some point after this, Shaki takes over for Gloriosa. She was originally the first mate. But then this Toritoma, or Tritoma, as TCB is calling her, then she took over somehow And then later Hancock did. So that's interesting. That is very interesting. Captain, enemy ahead. Oh, that's... Hello there, ahem. Oh, so did Gloriosa have the hots for Roger? That is cool. That's got to be the implication here, right? So her and Boa really parallel each other then, right? Because Boa obviously fell in love with Luffy, and now Gloriosa, who was kind of like, you know, the mentor, I guess, of Boa, fell in love with Roger. So that parallel is really strong. So that's cool. Because we got a hint about that in God Valley, because if you go back to chapter 1096, I forget exactly what happens, but like Stussy's on Whitebeard's shoulder, and they have some exchange where it's like, oh, that's rich coming from you, because like it implied they both have the hots for somebody, but we didn't know for sure for Gloriosa. Some people thought Whitebeard. I kind of assumed it was someone else, but now it's Roger, which is great. That fits. It's me, Roger speaking. Hand her over, Kuja pirates. Who are they handing over? Is it Shaki? Today's the day we'll finally win her from you. We're taking your first mate, Shakuyaku. All right, so it is Shaki, which I guess since Rayleigh and her are married, or seems to be married, I don't know if has that ever been confirmed. It seems like they are, and so that would make sense that there's some connection then, I guess. You never learn, Roger. Isn't being loved by a woman like me enough? Get her. All right, so now they're fighting to get Shaki, which is very interesting. Who did you come to take again? Lady Shakuyaku. They say her every move was captivating. Shaki's here. I'm just going to keep saying Shaki. That's easier to say. I brought you a flower. Please accept it as a gift. No, Shaki, take my flower instead. In her presence, flowers wilted, birds lost their songs, and people turned against one another. Chirp? Stay away from Shaki. Oh, Gabon. Just hearing you say my name is... Oh, and she just kicked him? Long time no see, Roger. How dare you do that to Gabon? And even Roger's got the hard eyes down here? Damn it, I like Shaki too much. He. You too, Roger? Her beauty humbled even the mightiest of warriors. So since these two had the hots for Shaki, is the implication that Rayleigh did not? That he did not react much, which would be a good Zoro parallel. You think back to like Hiyori, right? Where she like bandaged him up, and like those two and Toko all like slept in the same... on the same blanket. I can't remember. They slept on the floor, whatever it was. And Zoro didn't really react much to it, right? And so I think that's probably the same thing. Whoa, this panel's crazy. This like zoomed in panel right here with Shaki and Roger. That is a cool panel. That's like a thumbnail. You should know I'll never submit to another's captivity. Take their treasure. You can take my soul while you're at it. Roger, you know I'm the one who likes you, right? Out of the way, Gloriosa. You're blocking Shaki, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. The first mate of the Kuja pirates, Shakuyaku. Rayleigh, it must be so hard for you. Yeah, I'm surrounded by idiots. And then she gives a little heart, and he has that little stunned reaction. Hey, Rayleigh, all right. Empress Gloriosa, it's the Navy. We spotted Roger and the Kuja pirates. Quick, snap a picture. It'll be worth a fortune. Knock it off. I don't know if I'm reading that in the right order, but... Get moving with the loot. Don't leave a single crumb behind. On it. Hey, at least let us keep some of the food. Hurry it up. We've got to set sail. Roger, isn't that Garp's ship? What did you just say? All right, men. New plan. Crush them. Pirate Goldie Roger, future king of the pirates and father of Ace, Vice Admiral Monkey D. Garp, future hero of the Marines and grandfather of Luffy. So this is so cool, I think, because we've always known that Roger and Garp were like rivals, and they, fought a lot over the years. And of course, we know they teamed up at God Valley, but preceding that, and probably after that, they were rivals against each other. And so to see this kind of happen out in the open ocean, I think is just so cool. Like, it's one of those things where we knew it kind of happened, but it's just awesome to actually see it happen in a flashback. And to get a little bit of details, because now we can kind of presume like this sort of event happened a lot, especially with Roger, you know, meeting another important pirate, like when that's kind of like ripe for the Marines to show up, you know. So I just think this is really cool to get that backdrop. Meteor Fist, wow, they're here. Ara Mitama, a reference to a violent kind of spirit in Shinto, I think it says. Garp, Roger. Oh, and dude, that is so sick. Roger, Garp, and Rox. 3 who would be spoken of as legends in the Great Pirate era, but at this time, their blood burned with the passion of youth. And this is very much like the Kuzan and Garp thing, right? I think I'm remembering the right thing, where they punch each other at the same time. I know there's definitely a panel that very much mirrors this. I think it's Garp and Kuzan. And it's kind of interesting that Roger's got the sword, so it's like, I wonder I'm trying to think of how that would even work physically speaking, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Very, very awesome panel. What the? Empress Gloriosa? Thud. The Kuja were at the height of their popularity at this time. No one could speak of this era without mentioning them. Interesting. Sister, hang in there. My heart aches. Those 2 were so dreamy. All right, because she's got the love sickness. Many saw them as idols. Okay, so the idols in the chapter title is for the Kuja? I would have never guessed that, but kind of makes sense. And their wanted posters fetched high prices. Stalkers taking creep shots became a daily nuisance for the crew. Bro, paparazzi, they need to chill out, man, like for real. Soon after this encounter, Shakuyaku was crowned empress, and her popularity continued to grow to an unmanageable level. So if this was pre-God Valley, then I'm wondering if she took over once Gloriosa joined the Rocks Pirates. That would kind of line up, I think. Ida's Tavern in Elbaf. All right. I'm ready for this. Back at Elbaf. I saw Loki drowning after the ship capsized. He's always acting up so badly when you're not around. I honestly wondered whether I should help him or not. Sorry, and thank you for saving him. Loki, pull yourself together. What the hell? You shouldn't have even hesitated to help. Oh, so Ida's mad at this guy. How would you feel if Loki had died? Come on, Ida. Loki's the one who selfishly took the ship and sailed off. So what? If he can just stand by and let a kid die, I'd drag him I'd drag him under and drown him myself 100 times over. That font for me is hard to read for some reason. I didn't ask anyone to save me. Damn it, that's the piss poor attitude I was talking about. You lost your mom, and your dad's always quite busy. I bet you must get pretty lonely, right, Loki? With this panel, I feel like the Ida is Mosa theory just went up. I mean, it was already pretty high. Assuming Ida's alive, maybe we'll find out. But the fact she's talking about, like, you know, we already knew she felt bad for him, but she's even saying, I bet you get pretty lonely. That feels like a Mosa thing to me, but we'll see. Shut up, you old hag. Haha, wouldn't it be better to stay with us? No way. It's cool how Haradin also doesn't want that to happen. I'm on to you, Ida. You're just acting all motherly, so we'll let you move into the castle, aren't you? You're just a gold digger. Hey, whoa, okay. Listen, Loki, you gotta chill out right now. Listen. If anyone's a gold digger, it's your mom. And honestly, you were probably too young to pick up on that, even though, I mean, I'm sure you have some trauma from that, but like, Ida is not that. Listen, Loki, I need you to knock it off, man. Of all the things Loki said, that's the most cap of anything. Screw you, Loki. Haradin, get him, bro. What you said is unacceptable. Apologize right this instant. Don't you care how Ida feels? Oh, Harold, see, that's what I'm talking about, boys. They know what they're talking about, man. You kids are just too cute. You're being too sweet on him. I hate how he says such mean things to you, stupid Loki. Mato, are you crying for me? The world is full of kind and beautiful people. Ida is such a goat, bro. I'm serious. I mean, there's a lot of goated moms in One Piece, a lot of goated characters in general, but Ida, just like I said, how you gotta put the last couple chapters in your goat conversation for all of One Piece, Ida's got to be in the goat mom conversation in One Piece too, like already. And we've only known her for like 4 chapters or 3 chapters. I'm sick of this goddamn country. Every single one of you is weak and dirty. I'm going to be free like rocks. That's such a, I just love that line. Like, and it seems like the title of the chapter, Idols, is just about the Kuja, but when I first read it, I started thinking, like, are we going to get like a montage of people's idols a little bit? Because this era did create a lot of the idols for the current generation, right? And like Luffy's idol is Shanks, but Roger's like his inherited will, but whatever, you know, they're deeply connected. And obviously Rock's here with Loki, and who knows about these other great pirates and stuff. Now the Kuja just got named that, so I was kind of hoping that's what the chapter was going to be. Maybe it still is, I don't know, but I love that. And the video I'm working on, which I won't tell you what it's about, but I do talk a lot about that, because Rox is Loki's Shanks, not his Roger. And so there needs to be someone out there who like, where Rox is their Roger. And I think I know who that is, and that's what the video's about. But, because even for Blackbeard, he's like the ace, right? Because he's actually Rox's son. So there's got to be kind of that parallel out there that parallels Roger more, and I think I know who that is. But this is so cool nonetheless. I love the reminders about just people's inspirations or their mentors in general. From then on, each time Rox visited to try and recruit Harold, Loki would attempt to join Rock's crew, but he would ultimately never get his way. Aren't you happy? I'm gonna follow him out to sea, 'cause I hate you all right back. See, and it's because we know Loki has a lot of trauma with the Elbaf stuff, from how his mom treated him and how the whole island kind of treats him, from the curse thing in his eyes and the trouble that he causes and whatever. And getting even more backdrop to like just his emotions through all of this, I think is really powerful. For if / maybe when I ever do a Loki like character type video, which I'm kind of working on the Kuma one now, that's like the highlight of it, right? Like all of his trauma that he's built up for 60 years ish. So yeah, I don't know. This I like where this is going. Several months after the Rox crew's takeover of Pirate Island, where the hell did you come from? I'm here to join the Rox Pirates. Is this going to be Kaido? Gyahaha, maybe in your dreams, but it ain't gonna happen. You won't even lay eyes on him. The Rox Pirates are the ocean's all-stars of evil. Bro, what a cool name, honestly. You know, and I was making like the basketball comparison earlier with like your goats of basketball, like you got the certain people that are in the conversation. Now they're even saying all-stars of evil, like we're talking, you know, the basketball all-stars, maybe the Monstars. I love that, bro. That's just such a cool name, All-Stars of Evil. See that fish-shaped boulder over there? That's where they're said to be holed up. Fish-shaped boulder? I see what they're talking about, but obviously it's a skull with like a bandana thing now, but now when you take away the eyes, it is fish-shaped. Now, is there any deeper meaning to that? I don't know. It is fish-shaped. That's interesting. That is interesting. If you're dead set on meeting them, head that way. But the deeper into the island you go, the madder the bastards get. Good luck with that. Good luck with that death wish. What tattoo is that? What's that? Was it something Kiri on his arm? I saw a Reddit post recently that basically pointed out, like, have we figured out what any of these tattoo means? And it's like just a montage of all these people's different tattoos, and some people had the same tattoos, which I've never even seen that before, and it really got me thinking, like, I don't know if tattoo piece is something we need to start talking about, but take that. Yahaha, that'll teach you. What? What? You're Kyo the Wicked? Future Silver Axe? This guy? Whoa, bro, we've never seen this guy, I don't think. Whoa. This isn't one of those Thriller Bark zombies, is it? I don't think we've seen this guy at all. Am I wrong? Kyo the Hitman. Wait, what's Shiki's rival doing here? So that's interesting. So he's Shiki's rival? Because whenever I saw Kyo the Wicked, I thought back to last chapter where TCB said that Shiki was Shiki the Wicked and then became the Golden Lion later. And now that we hear he's Shiki's rival, were there two people named the Wicked? I can't remember what the official called Shiki. It wasn't the Wicked, though. They picked a different name. Who does he look like, man? I don't know if I'm crazy, but like Don Krieg? I mean, I don't know if I'm just stuck on Family Piece. But maybe Don Krieg? Wait, does he have an X on his chin? Wait, doesn't... Hold on. X Drake also has an X on his chin. I mean, it's probably just a scar, right? But still... I'm getting a little Don Krieg and a little Drake. Also, by the way, the X's on the sunglasses go so hard. Like, I don't know why, but I love that addition. That makes his like that little face at the top. He looks so much cooler with that. Like, he looks cool nonetheless. But I don't want to look at the chat because I know I'm almost done. But I'm gonna look at the chat. I don't care. Somebody said both Drake and his father have the X. It might not be a coincidence. X Drake 2. Zephyr, Debus said. Let me look him up again. Oh, yeah. If we assume that the design from the movie will end up being canon, I could see that. He also wears sunglasses, which helps. I mean, it's not like a 1-to-1 to Zephyr, but I feel like if Oda is gonna make Zephyr a canon character, he's probably gonna give him some connections like this and stuff. So I can see that. I feel like Don Krieg's probably the number one, and X Drake. But we know X Drake's dad, so could Silver Axe be like Barrels' brother? But I guess we don't really know his family name if it's just Kyo the Wicked. I don't know. Also, if it is Don Krieg, we think we saw Don Krieg pull up the Hachinosu in like 1107 or something like that. I think the safe money is that it's Don Krieg. It's not 100% confirmed, but probably. So now that he's pulling up on Hachinosu in a similar way, I don't know if that's a parallel. I'm pumped we saw this guy, though. He also has like axes on his like robe, and I guess that's fitting since he is Silver Axe. And I'm just glad that he's not well, I guess he could still be this guy, but he doesn't have the same design as the zombie in Thriller Bark that was in like the silver armor with the axe, because a lot of people were saying that could be Silver Axe, since I mean he is with the other rock zombies, so it was kind of a sound theory. But I thought that would be kind of a lame design if he was just like in a suit of armor and didn't have a cooler outfit on. But this is pretty dope. Wait, also that tattoo. Hold on, one last thing, then we'll move on. That tattoo, isn't that like Loki's tattoo? Somewhat. It is somewhat like Loki's tattoo, right? Where he's got like the wings going on his like his arm, his shoulder, side of his chest. I don't know what there's oblique. I don't know what. Definitely not the oblique. Maybe I don't know what you'd call that. We can't really see because his hair is covering a lot of it too. But I don't know. There's a lot to say about this guy. Anyway, I'm gonna continue here. The strong gathered around rocks, and their presence attracted even stronger recruits. Stay back, he'll kill ya. What the? What a view. Look at the scenery. Blasting a couple holes in the place was the right call after all. Ain't that right? So, guys, we just saw how the eyes on the Hachinosu Island came to be. Which is it's such like a random but cool moment to see. Like, nobody was harking on like we need to see when the eyes get created. Like, everybody just probably thought that was what the rock looked like normally. But the fact that it was called a fish-shaped thing, and now we're seeing rocks create the holes, and now every time we look at Hachinosu, we're going to think like rocks made those. It's just such a random cool thing for him to throw in there. As I was saying, there's 2 devil fruits I'm after. One of them's most likely on Elbaf. It'll only show its true power if Harold eats it. Is that... Is that a will of the devil fruit thing? Like, is it kind of like with like Luffy and the Gomu, like only Harold would be able to successfully awaken it and use its powers to the fullest extent? That, I feel like there's a lot of weight to that line. And the fact he's saying there's two, so he's after 2 devil fruits. So if Rox was after 2, the first thing I would think of is, oh, well, Blackbeard has 2 now. Maybe it's the same 2. But I don't think Blackbeard's going to have the one on Elbaf, because in the officials, the TCB wasn't as clear, but in the officials at least, they said Loki ate that fruit that day. So that would imply that Loki would still have it now. And so Blackbeard / Rox never got it. And so now that Blackbeard has different fruits than this, I wonder how that connects. But maybe, I don't know, maybe, you know, whatever, like they said Loki ate it, maybe they're confused, or maybe there was like a swapping of the fruits at some point. I don't really know. I feel like that's a really powerful line, though. There's definitely some stuff to take from that. Oh, Captain John. We'll need those Gale Raw folks, too, yeah? I've heard the... Oh, dude. Okay, depending on what they say here, part of the video I'm working on just got such a massive boost. I'm so invested now. I've heard the legends, but... Oh, we got Pirate Charlotte Linlin, future Big Mom here. That's dope, because we didn't see her before, or Captain John. I'm using all my contacts to try and track them down, but there's nothing about a frozen army of giants, alright? Even if you find them, what good are a bunch of corpses now? Pirate Streusen, Linlin's partner in crime. It's crazy that we're getting some Streusen talk here. Exactly. There's no way to bring them back. Shut it. We're talking about dreams. Don't be a downer. I mean, this is making me think that Moria's role in the story is... I mean, maybe these guys aren't even dead, right? Because maybe if you freeze them, they don't actually die and they can come back. But this is making me think Moria's role is not done in the story, or S Gecko or S Bat, right? Exactly. There's no way to bring them back. There definitely is. And it's funny that Streusen's saying that, because, like, I've always viewed Big Mom's powers and Moria's as kind of like sister powers in a way, where like the soul and the shadow are like kind of 2 sides of the same coin, because like the shadow was said to be like the second soul. And so I think it's interesting they're saying this. Who the hell is this? Pirate Barbell? With the Nika hair? Who is this? Who is this? Pirate Barbell? Catfish Fishman? Who have we ever heard of this guy? Who is this? Nope, I did a quick Google search. We've never heard of this guy before. I was wondering if it was like a different translation for someone that I didn't know. Who is this, bro? Whoa, what? Dude, I am beside myself. That design is just shocking. I can't see the chat right now, and I think I need to, because this, bro, what am I looking at? What is happening? This guy has Nika hair, and just one of the craziest designs I've ever seen. Mr. Denji said he was shown in chapter 1096, so one of the background guys, but we didn't have his name. This guy's crazy, bro. It's a cool design, given that it's the Catfish Fishman, but when you first look at this, you're like, who or what is this? You know, like, bro. The Nika hair, though. What is that? I'm just going to keep reading. Now we got Kaido. I mean, I know they're just saying little things, but to see all these goats back in their younger days together, bro, we've been waiting for this for, let's see, it's been 200 chapters or so. Yeah, because 956 was when we first heard about Rox, and now we're 200 chapters later. So we've been waiting 200 chapters, or like 6 years or so now, to finally see all these guys together like this. And at least, like, I'm kind of saw it at God Valley a little bit, but this is even preceding that. This is crazy. That's why we need Harold. He's the current king of Elbaf. Can't we just use our strength to force them to obey? We can do the same thing to that Harold guy, too. If Harold is Kaido's dad, he clearly doesn't know that here yet. And so I wonder, if that's true, I wonder how that ties together. Oh, whoa, we got Rox here kicking Kaido. Never say that again, you brat. Calm down, Rox. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So Rox got angry about using strength to control Harold. Why Kaido, you stop it. Or Kaido, you too, stop it. We just got this island. Do you two want to turn it into a ruin already? A group like this is bound to implode sooner or later, but this isn't the time. Who's saying that? Is that Shiki saying that? I can't tell if that's Shiki or Captain John. Oh, it's Captain John. Or no. Okay, it's a different font. So I think that's Shiki, and now Captain John's coming in. Captain John's design is a little wild, too. Right, let's hold off on that till we cash in a little more. Get it, you horn-headed rookie? Harold's my good pal. I'll crush you if you say that crap again, Kaido. Hey, I love Rox so much. I know he's a bad dude. I know he's violent. I get it. Like, maybe he'll be a little morally ambiguous in certain ways, but he's obviously a bad guy in totality, I would say. But this kind of stuff, I love it, man. It's like a little shade of Shanks, a little bit of shade of Luffy, where Shanks only gets angry when his friends are in danger. It's kind of the same thing. It's like how Luffy, was talking to Loki, wasn't phased by the tales that he heard of Loki, and that he was a bad guy and all that stuff. But the second Loki had something to say about Shanks, Luffy was throwing hands, right? And it's the same thing here. So I love that they all kind of have shades of one another in this regard. What a dope double page spread here. Oh my god, dude. I need this on a poster. I don't care. The Rox Pirates might be my favorite pirate crew. I mean, obviously the Straw Hats are up there too. Wait. You see, what was his name? Barbell? You see Barbell's necklace back there? That's the same necklace. We don't know the color, but it looks the same as Ace's necklace and Uruja's necklace. I don't know if there's anything to glean from that, but that necklace is very interesting to me. Listen up, you lot. Elbaf is the key to bringing down the Holy Land. If any of you don't buy that, then get lost. It's your choice if you want to stand with me on the Day of Destiny. But if you've got the guts, follow me. I'll take you to the world's summit. The crew has formed, bro. Rox, I want to join your crew, man. The dude is just aura farming to the max. You know what I mean? This is, I say it every chapter, bro. Rox, I'm ready. What you need me to do? You need me to pull up the Hachinosu? You need me just to swab the poop deck? Like, I'm bought into Rox, man. I freaking love Rox. I love this so much. Oda is cooking to such a crazy degree. This full crew panel here, man, like, we get this sometimes. I think we've had it a couple times with the Straw Hats. Only once with the current full crew, like with Jinbei at the start of the raid. I think we got him in a full shot. Yeah, because I know the anime clip. It's like right at the start. And those are some of the coolest panels, and we finally got it here with Rox, man. We got Barbell's huge, by the way. We got Barbell back there. We got Newgate. We got Wang Ji. We got Stussy. We got Shiki. We got Don Marlin. We got Rox, of course. which I gotta say, Rox's proportions here are a little wild, where like his legs are long AF, but still looking badass. Big Mom, Gonzui back there, Kaido, Streusen, Captain John, bro. This is just something else, man. Follow me. I'll take you to the world's summit. Just such a good chapter. Oh my god. It's hard to compare to last week with the Davy Back fight, you know. Like I said, that changed the rating scale. We can't rate chapters on the same scale anymore because we got a new definition for a 10, but I mean this was damn good, bro. This is setting up for something crazy, I feel like, for next chapter. This is either setting up well, since he talked about like Elbaf's the key to bringing down the Holy Land, I'm guessing they're going to go to Elbaf and do something next, is the next part of the flashback. And I think it's also really interesting that he's saying Elbaf's the key to bringing down the Holy Land, because even in chapter 1147 or 46, I can't remember, but before Gunkmu happened and it was still Gunko, Gunko said something to the effect of, like, this is the opening salvo of the coming Great War, and it said that whichever side the Giants pick will greatly impact the outcome, or something to that effect, which I think is a major reason why Emu is taking over the Giants, because Emu needs to kind of force them over to their side, because I don't know if it's the prophecy, I don't know, I don't know what it is, but there's something in the lore that's telling them, you need the Giants on your side if you're going to win. And Luffy's obviously going to be the one to achieve that by the end, or Luffy and Usopp. Hopefully Usopp gets some focus eventually, but it's crazy that Rox is saying the same thing now too. And it might not be for the same reason. Maybe he's saying it just because of the fruit, and for Emu it's some other stuff. I don't know, but oh, bro. Excellent chapter. That's all I got to say. Excellent chapter. Probably, definitely at least a 9 out of 10. At least. So, man, I'm excited to see what you guys got to say. We're going to get into the super chats. I'm sure you guys got some theories on this for sure. Saw that one. Also, thank you to everybody who subscribed. I saw there was a good amount of them from the stream. I appreciate you. I don't know if you're even here or if you're just watching a video, but thank you very much. Mr. Bushido with the €2. There's a figure in Scopper's eyes in the cover. Let me go check this out. Oh, yeah, there is. There's, like, somebody running, right? I think. Oh, it's Luffy. It's a reflection of Luffy, I think, because Luffy's kind of in the Nika pose, right? And you can see in his glasses that, like, the legs are kind of reflecting. Pretty sure that's just Luffy, which is cool symbolism in the sense of, like, you know, Scopper is going to be the first Roger pirate to see Luffy in Gear 5, unless you count, like, the bounty posters and stuff. So I don't know if Rayleigh saw those, but regardless, in real time, he's probably going to be the first Roger pirate to see that. So that's cool. That's a cool catch. David Cott with the €2. Roger can't beat the slavery apologist allegations. Yeah. Good point. I didn't I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, you're not wrong. And it really doesn't help how easily. Wait, hold on. Let me go back to this real quick. Yeah, it is crazy that Roger's pulling up like, we're taking her from you. We're taking this girl. We're gonna kidnap this pretty girl from you. Like, hey, Roger, that's sus, man. I'm gonna be honest. That's sus. It's like, I don't care how popular she was, bro. That's why, especially because Gloriosa was already had the hots for you, Roger. Like, you gotta chill out, man. That's a good catch. I didn't even think about it that way. Trevor Verge's art, my guy who drew the thumbnail today. Appreciate you. The Roger Pirates already have the egg at this point. Why? Oh, I didn't even think about that. Hold on. You're right, bro. Oh, Trevor, you're cooking. The Roger Pirates already have the egg at this point. Wild. Also, miss me with these ladies. Sandersonia, best girl. This post paid for by Snake Lady Gang. Hey, I also believe in Sandersonia supremacy, so I'm with you. You know, I've said it a million times, but Boa kicked puppies. Boa's not hot. I'm gonna be honest with you. Boa's ugly. Boa's ugly for kicking puppies and kittens. Like, I don't care what you look like. If you're kicking puppies, get out of here. I'm done. But did Sandersonia kick any puppies? I didn't see that happen. So, I mean, maybe I missed it, but I don't think so. So that's, look, Sandersonia stocks, they're way up. But the egg, I did not see the egg, dude. That is crazy. I don't even know what to really say about that. Do we know how long ago this was? I mean, if we assume, oh my gosh, my headphones are just freaking out. Or like what is happening? It keeps giving me a notice like, did you plug in new headphones? Like, no, dude, the same ones have been plugged in the whole time. Maybe the computer has a super chat. So when did so 4 years passed. That was the end of last chapter. So this was 48 years ago. So this would be 44 that we're looking at with Roger going after the Kuja, right? If we're assuming this picks up off the end, so it'd be 44 years ago. So we had the egg that long ago. I'm not sure what to really take from that. That's a really good catch, though, man. Yeah, I want to say, I don't know. We don't know enough about Roger's early adventures for me to even really speculate. Like, my theory has always been that he got the egg from Skypiea because it's connected to the snake gods and everything like that. Shandora. Shandora's in Skypiea now, but you know what I mean. So maybe this is telling us that he already went to Skypiea before this, which would make sense, because if he's going to go, because he hasn't gotten a lodestar yet, so he's still on his first run through the Grand Line, so he would have went into Skypiea before he even got into the New World. So that actually does make sense that he probably went to Skypiea, if that's where it is, but that is some really good food for thought. Lol Sauce, aka Lucas C, member for 30 months, dude, 2.5 years. I seriously appreciate you, man. That's crazy. Does anybody else have 30 yet? Maybe. Not many. Yo, effing poggers. I do not want to get demonetized. Although, actually, I saw that YouTube is more lenient about curse words now, but until I know that for a fact, I'm just going to say, yo, effing poggers, like the stream. Appreciate you, my guy. Please like the stream if you guys haven't already. Actually, I saw we just hit 100 likes. That's dope. Thank you guys very much. Dexter with the DKK 20. What is? I should know what the DKK is, because I have sent you DKK before. Give me a sec. So I wanted to Google what the DKK stood for, and I literally typed in Google Dexter DKK, like that. Like, my brain's just not working. That's how hype it was. Danish crone. That's what it is. I should know what those are called. Like the stream if you enjoy. Yes, sir. Yes, and only do it if you enjoy. If you don't enjoy, you don't have to hit the dislike. You can. And there's good arguments to say that the engagement will help me either way. But liking the stream would be appreciated. Also, I see my guy Killer Comedy TV in the chat who said like the stream. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it. Did you just get here? Oh, nope, you were here earlier. All I see is 17-year-old bro. True. Dexter's crone, Dexter says. Yeah, that's what they're actually changing the currency to, is Dexter's crone. So I appreciate you. Also, Biori Gigi with the 5 gifted memberships. I just saw that. Double down. Yo, Gigi, I seriously, thank you so much. I don't know. I'm not good at keeping up with the gifted memberships because I say it all the time, but they don't show them in Streamlabs, and you would think after multiple years of having memberships, Streamlabs would update it, but I guess not. But thank you, Gigi. Seriously, I appreciate you. I owe you a blue raspberry crush the next time I see you, which I don't know when that'll be, if ever. But if I do, I'll make sure it happens. Mr. Bushido, oh, I like this super chat with the €2. Still no Bogard hype. Because there is none. There's no Bogard hype to even speak of. But we don't even know if Bogard is his actual name, right? Wasn't he just named in the credits of the anime sequence and he's never actually been named? I'm pretty sure that's correct. I know he was definitely named from the anime credits. That's the first time we saw the name Bogard. So yeah, you might be right. No Bogard hype to see here. You would think whenever Gart pulled up, you'd see Bogard, but you just saw no guard. So it is what it is. That's how it goes. That's how it goes for Bogard sometimes. Also, a couple more super chats from you. Appreciate you, Bushido. I'm going to just read these back to back. Silver Axe had X marks like Drake. I think you probably said that before I said it, but you are the Drake guy, so I should have expected it. That might imply a connection, man. If there was ever a time for you to drop a big Drake theory, it's right now. Gold, Shiki, Silver Axe. Who is their copper? That's a cool connection. The Golden Lion, Silver Axe, and is there a copper one to mirror the Roger Pirates thing? I don't know who that would be. Like, based off all the names that we've seen, there hasn't been a clear-cut one, but maybe there's another one to join. We may not have seen all the Rocks Pirates, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Canadian $7 from Debus. Oh, my guy Debus, I appreciate you. I don't know if you want me to say it on stream or not, but I almost congratulated you for the thing you commented on the members only post, but then I remembered, no, that's happening in a month, because I forgot that I scheduled that stream out for a month. So congratulations on, I'll just say, the stuff you got going on later this month. I don't know if you want me to say it, but congrats. If it was fish-shaped, is Hachinosu going to be the new Fishman Island once Luffy evicts Blackbeard at end of series? That is a really, really good idea. Because they will need like a home base. Because I think part of the Fishman Island, or Fishmen coming to the surface thing, is just like they're at the bottom of the sea and they need to come and, you know, coalesce with everybody else. But usually they're still going to have like a home base, right? Like one place where most of the fishmen stay most of the time, even if they do, you know, intersperse into other countries and all that kind of stuff. And we don't have a clear-cut place for that right now, I would argue. And Hachinosu, if that was actually a fish originally, I love that idea. I love that idea. Also, Deeb, as you said, I can say it. All right, cool. I don't know if you cared, but yeah, congratulations on your wedding. It's later this month, so Deebus isn't married yet, but in August at some point. So congratulations, Deebus. That's awesome. That is you're gonna hopefully have a lot of fun. Pretty much every wedding I've gone to has been a lot of fun. I mean, you're the groom, so I would assume you're gonna have a good time. But hopefully it goes off without a hitch. Hopefully there's no wedding crashers. And if there are, hopefully they're fun. Hopefully they make for some good memories. But yeah, congratulations, man. Seriously, that's awesome. But I love your theory. That was a great theory, dude. I'm just thinking, like, would they patch the holes then, maybe, so it goes back to being a fish, but at the same time, like, seeing through the holes is kind of just a cool thing for, you know, people just to look over the island. So I don't know what they do there, but it's a fish nonetheless. So that's cool, man. That's cool. Let's see here. Wow. Again, thank you to everybody who's subscribed, because amidst these super chats, I have like almost full scrolls of subscribers. So thank you guys, seriously. Kumasi Supremacy member for 17 months. What is up, my dudes? I never catch lives anymore. Well, bro, I'm glad you could catch this one. I'm sure you've been keeping up with One Piece, even if you haven't made it to the lives. But man, Oda is on another level, man. We're getting the peak of peaks. And what I find so interesting about it, and I don't know if I said this last stream, but like, Rocks was only introduced or mentioned ever 200 chapters ago. So this isn't like somebody that we were told about early in the story that we've been waiting to see come back, or it's not a mystery that was introduced early that we're waiting for. This is a relatively new thing, but it's still just so hype, man. And I love that, because like, of course getting the Void Century is going to be hype. Of course getting the One Piece is going to be hype. Of course going to Laugh Tale, taking down Emu, all these things that we know are going to happen and are required to finish the story are going to be hype. But the more like quote-unquote random things, which Rocks isn't that random because he has a lot of roles beyond, you know, what we've seen so far, but it's just the fact that Oda can bring in like new people or groups and they just hit so hard. Like, I would say the Cross Guild is a similar thing, where we had no idea all these people were going to, you know, team up together and make this new organization, but they did, and it's hype and it works. And I just love it, man. Oda keeps coming up with ideas. He's cooking. So yeah, Kumasi, I hope you've been well, man. Seriously. And I mean, Oda's cooking on another level. Kuya Pixels with the $2. 10 out of 10 chapter. Rocks, Pirates, Avengers assemble. True. That is how it feels, man. Like I said, these full crew panels, like we get with the Straw Hats sometimes, there's just so much aura, man. It's like we're ready to go, getting everyone in one shot to kind of show. Like this group is a little bit different because of the Davy back fight stuff, but they are still a pirate crew. They still did go and succeed in a lot of different ways, so it's just so hype. And actually, while I was saying that, I noticed something that's very, very important. Did you guys notice that Rox's Jolly Roger is different than the one we originally saw? Let me go down and see if it looked like that. It was this way last week as well, but not as clear. Because the first time we ever saw Rox's flag, he just had like two little flames, like kind of where his ears would be. It was only like a couple, like it wasn't the same. But now the entire skull is on fire. And there's also like that little curl, which that was always there. But now I think we can definitely, maybe not definitely, but maybe more likely say this is a Nika hint or an awakening hint or something. Because Luffy had pretty much that same thing on his chest when he was Afro Luffy during the Davy back fight. And I remember bringing up how like those are kind of similar. And I even added a caveat, like they kind of look like each other, but Rox only has like a couple little flames and, you know, it's not a 1-to-1. This is much, much, much closer to a 1-to-1 of the one that Luffy had. It's not exact because there's that little swirl in there. But that only makes me think of Gear 5 because he has swirls all in his hair, right? So the fact that Jolly Roger is not the same as the original, I think, is a big deal. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Like, I'm just going to pull it up. Or, well, you know, we always play this game here. Oh, it's a WebP file. You know, they don't like WebP files around here. Let me see if I can pull it up, though. Well, there it is. 2 seconds. Now I just got to find it. Where are you at? There it is. Oh my god. Well, hey, I'm gone now. Taking up the whole screen. So yeah, you see how it just has like the two little wisps of flames here? They're almost like ears or horns or something. That is not what it looks like now. It looks very different now. So I think that is pretty important, I'm not going to lie. It's almost like Oda didn't want us to make the Gear 5, or it could just be Awakening, because even like Lucci had like flaming hair. It was just black, not white, so kind of depends. But I think that's definitely something. I don't know. That's, like I said, at bare minimum, this is more of a parallel to the Davy back stuff, but maybe a Gear 5 hint. I don't know. But that I think is actually kind of a big deal. Mr. Bushido with the €5. 2 questions. Did Gloriosa know Ace was Roger's son? He looks just like him. That is a really good question. I'm going to read the other one first. 2, most importantly, where's my kid video? Kid grandson of Rox? Well, all I can say is that if there is a kid video, I am not saying that he's the grandson of Rox. I'll tell you that much. But there's a kid video coming at some point. You know, we'll see. It's coming. I don't know when, but it's coming. I'm working on it. But did Gloriosa know Ace was Roger's son? See, that is a really good question, because Gloriosa was kind of the one who actually told Luffy that Ace was going to get executed, because she was like reading the paper when Luffy was there, and that's how Luffy figured it out. Then it led to the thing where Boa snuck him onto the ship to get an impel down and all that kind of stuff. So she is actually really closely tied to the Luffy and Ace situation in a lot of ways. And so it is interesting to think about if she understood that. I mean, she knows now because they said it at Marineford, right? So I think she knows now, but it is weird that she wouldn't know back then. I'm trying to think of, I don't know if there's like some kind of situation there, like, because if she liked Roger this much, you would imagine that she was, you know, keeping tabs on who he was seeing or whatever. I don't know. That could lead to a cool little moment between Gloriosa and Luffy potentially. I don't know. That's a really good question. Mick Pulsar with the $5 super chat. Rox is kind of giving me Katakuri vibes in that panel. Connection? Let me go down and look. You mean like the final panel? You know, I've seen people. I guess let me look at Katakuri again. It always helps when I get the side by side. You know, because Katakuri does kind of have like a little bit of a similar outfit there. Not exactly the same, but you know, he's got the dark pants. He doesn't have as big of a belt, but he does have a belt with like a big skull on it. Guess there is a little bit of a similar vibe there, so I think I get what you're saying. Like the problem with that, like at least that he might be Katakuri's dad, is that would mean that Rox had kids with Big Mom while Big Mom was on his crew. And maybe it's just a personal thing, but I really don't like the idea of crewmates having kids with their other crewmates. Like, it's one thing if after they retire they get together, because that's like a whole other thing. But the crew is kind of like a sacred thing, you know? They're like a family, like, you know, a group of friends. And while we have seen some people on the ship, on ships get together, like Odin and Toki's kind of the first one I think of, which they weren't like normal full-fledged crewmates, but they, you know, they did meet on the ship, so it kind of fits that idea. But yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of Oda potentially doing that. Not that it's not possible. It is absolutely possible. But I kind of hope he doesn't do that. I mean, if he did do it, Big Mom might make the most sense, but I don't know, just the whole dynamic of like the captain having kids with one of the subordinates, and especially if they aren't in like a committed relationship, it's a little awkward. Like if he does it in just one time and it's Big Mom, that would be the time to do it. But to me, it's a little weird. But how old? Katakuri's in his 40s, right? I think. Well, here, I got it right here. He's 48, so he would have already been alive by this point. He would already be 4 years old. So maybe he just hung out and like knew Rox, right? Like he liked his vibe, maybe his outfit, he liked how strong he was, whatever. So maybe he took after him in that way because he got to meet him and grow up around him. I would like that. I think that'd be a really good fit. But yeah, as far as him being his kid, that I'm not. Like I said, it's possible. I'm not overruling it. It's just I think it'd be a little strange if Oda went that direction. But oh, okay. I thought I saw some memberships donated, but I'll get back to the other stuff later. I just don't want to make sure I want to make sure I don't miss those. ZM or no, Mick Pulsar or no, that's the one I just read. ZMP323 super chatted $2. I wonder if or how Elbaf ties into God Valley. Yeah, because now that they're saying like Elbaf's the key to bringing down the Holy Land, and we know that Rox's like his downfall or the biggest event that he was well, I was gonna say the biggest event that he was part of, but breaking into the Flower Room might be the biggest one. But God Valley's the biggest one that people really know of. It's like what is the connection there, right? Like for example, did they actually steal the fruit? And I know they said that Loki ate it, but maybe there's, you know, they just have the situation wrong, or he ate the wrong fruit. I don't know what it would be. But maybe Rox took that fruit and that got taken to God Valley, and that was the treasure they're talking about, was that fruit, because Rox finally got it and then they took it. And is that kind of the interconnection between all of this? I don't really know, but there's obviously some connection, because if we're learning about Rox while we're in Elbaf, and we know Rox was good friends with Harold, like to the point of beating up Kaido for talking, you know, down to him, kind of. There's something there. I don't know what it is though. I don't know. Killer Comedy, appreciate you for becoming a member, my guy. Thank you very much. I don't know. I know this isn't the first time. I don't know how many months, it doesn't say, and I don't know if I can find it, but whatever it is, I appreciate you. Thank you very much, my friend. Did Roger have a Nami? She's also big in the cover. From Bushido for €2. See, I feel like no. And I feel like he needed one. Because if there was a Nami on the crew, I am not sure that Roger would be going around trying to kidnap women off of people's ships, you know? Like, it feels like they need some female influence in the crew somewhere, if you ask me. And I mean, well, let me go look at Roger's crew, actually. Does he have any female members? Bro. No, he doesn't. Toki was on the ship for a little bit. Bro, the Roger pirates were a sausage fest. Oh my god. I've never made that connection. The Roger pirates were just a big sausage fest. I can't believe it, bro. Yeah, no, he didn't have a Nami. He needed one. Cause look, I mean, this dude was down so bad. He was stealing women off of their ship. That's wild. I can't believe I never noticed that. And you also said, I think Shaki was captured by celestial dragons. More on Discord. Well, I guess I'm trying to think of how that would work. Because when did Boa get taken? Because the thing is like, since Boa got taken once, I mean, it's totally possible that she could get taken, but I don't know if I want the Kuja to routinely get kidnapped and forced into slavery. You know what I mean? Like, it happened to Boa and her sisters already, so I kind of don't want that to have happened to Shaki. But I'm trying to see if there's anything in the timeline that might boost that. I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but I kind of hope not. I kind of hope not. Davon, you said, so is Shank's crew about not having any women. Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually wild. I wonder if there's a reason for that. Like, not just like basic misogyny, but like, I don't know. Does some of this harken back to like the Zoro and Kuina thing, where Kuina's like, I'm a girl, I can't be the strongest, whatever. And is there maybe like some protection, you know, like they don't want to bring women because they'll get in danger. But then Roger had like little kids on his crew, so that would just fall on its face immediately. So I don't know what Oda's doing there, man. I don't know if he intended for that, but I don't know. New Poppy with a $20 super chat. Glad to see you back, my friend. Dak, you remember my theory I showed you a while back? I predicted rocks will steal Harold's treasure, then eat it on God Valley and become False Awakened Zone. Also said Loki had to kill his father to awaken the fruit. I do remember that. And if that comes true, I mean, you're gonna get a lot of, you know, a lot of flowers, my friend. I think we're still, you know, like I said, the official said Loki ate it, so I'm not sold that fruit was at God Valley yet. I think we gotta get to the bottom of the fruit situation, because if Loki ate it, then obviously it's been on Elbaf the whole time. But the fact that he wanted it is definitely boosting your agenda. I'll say that much, like without a question. And also another thing I'll say is that whether it's the Elbaf fruit or not, the fact that the Rock's pirate flag is different. I don't know if you were here when I was explaining this earlier, but the fact there's more flames on his skull in the flag is definitely making me think like Awakened Zone stuff. And because that's, you know, even Lucci and Kaku, and even Saturn, which we don't know if he has a devil fruit yet, but he has, you know, a transformation regardless. You know, they all kind of have that in different ways, like different colors. So, yeah, I think the stocks are way up on Rocks having a zone, and also awakening it at Marineford, and also, let me see it. What do you say? One of them's most likely on Elbaf. It'll only show its true power if Harold eats it. I feel like that's another. Well, it could be a hint that, like, maybe Rocks ate it and then he failed to awaken it because Harold didn't eat it, and that's why he commented that. Or it could mean that he never ate it because he knew he could never awaken it, so he ate a different one. I think you could maybe reason it both ways. But no, man, your stocks are way up. I think it all just depends on whether that fruit actually got eaten by Loki or not. Like, I wouldn't call it a retcon, but Oda would have to, you know, explain the propaganda, or, you know, explain how people got confused on thinking he actually ate it. Because we know he has a fruit because of the sea stone. So he's got something. But no, man, no, the stocks went way up for you, for sure, 100%. You should definitely be pumped. If there was ever a time to do another video on that theory that you're talking about right here. It's right now. Right here, right now. We also have a break next week, right, guys? Is that accurate? I want to say we do because of the magazine break. So yeah, no, it's your time. It's your time. 100%. Killer Comedy TV super chatted $2. Lions tonight, Dak. Do the Lions? What do you tonight? Do they play tonight? Is it the Hall of Fame game or something? Oh my God, it is. See, that's my marker every year that time is moving too fast. Whenever we get around to the Hall of Fame game, that's when I know that time has to slow down. It felt like the Super Bowl was yesterday. This is wild. That is literally insane. But yeah, go Lions. I'm definitely a Detroit Lions fan. So, well, because we can't support the Cleveland Browns anymore. I'm gonna be honest. They're out of the running for me. They didn't deserve my fandom in the first place because they always sucked, and then they made some very, very, very poor decisions, and they're gone. So go Lions for sure. Dexter, you also said in the chat there is a magazine break next week, most likely, as in 99% no early chapter from TCB, not 100, just 99%. Got you. I know. At Christmas time, whenever we have the Christmas and New Year's section of the year, because there's always like a magazine break right at New Year's. I forget what it's for or whatever. But I know during that time, TCB usually does do the chapter a week ahead. So then that creates an awkward week where like the scan people already know, but the officials don't get it till like 9 days later or whatever. But I think that's usually only at Christmas that they do that. So hopefully TCB doesn't release it next week. And I know to some people it's blasphemous to not want a chapter next week, but we're going to have a break either next week or the week after, no matter what, you know. So I'd rather have it next week because that way we're all on the same schedule with the official. So yeah, that's good to know though. Baby Mole, Baby Pluton, you said, but Shador. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Hey man, like if Deshaun Watson wasn't on the team, I'd find it much easier to be excited, but I got way too many moral issues with Deshaun Watson and what the Browns have been doing in general the last like 8 years with their signings, or 7, I don't know, however, but I'm just not too happy with the Browns' direction. That's all. They lost my fandom. They're gone. But the Lions, I like the Lions, man. They got Sun God Amon-Ra, St. Brown. He's the GOAT now. Biori said, what is a bad running back? Hey, the Lions offense cooks. I don't know anything about NFL anymore, but I know they got a great offense. Moroccan Money, my guy with the $5, bro. Glad to see you in one of the streams. Have you watched Dressrosa yet, Moroccan Money? I don't know if you should be reading these if you haven't watched Dressrosa yet. But you said Jesus, Oda cooked, and we're talking a Michelin star buffet. I don't know if those even exist. I feel like they don't, because a buffet is not conducive to making the highest of quality of food. But if there was, that's where we're at right now. That is, like, I'm not kidding. Oda's on another level. Davon, aka Schoolboy Beats, my guy, super chatted $2. Rock/Roger might have an Ace or Buggy relationship. I love that idea. Oh, dude, that is great. I mean, Ace and Buggy don't really have a great relationship, I would say, but those are definitely the parallels. And I'm also thinking they were both at Marineford, and you think about Roger and Rox being at God Valley, and those are kind of similar, and it just makes me kind of, I don't know. I just love that idea though. Because it's also Ace and Blackbeard, but also not, because Ace isn't really the same as Roger, but he's similar but not the same. I would say Luffy is more similar to Roger than Ace was, right? But then because then Ace met Whitebeard and he gave up on being the Pirate King and wanted Whitebeard to be the Pirate King and all that stuff. So they're a little bit different. But I like that. I like that idea. It's kind of crazy how Oda has dropped, I mean, family piece for sure. Like, he dropped it straight on our heads. But even, like, parallel piece or inspiration piece, or I guess you can call it idol piece because of this chapter title. Because, like, we're learning, like, all the people of the past that are like the people of today, right? And whether they're related, inspired, inherited will, whatever, it's like the past generation wasn't that much unlike the current one. And I think it's so cool how Oda's kind of explaining all that. Excuse me. So yeah, I like that idea. Baby Pluton, member for 21 months, aka Baby Mole. And by the way, your dad's getting freed soon. We're going to be freeing Pluton soon. Trust me. All we need is, you know, now I can't think of a way to phrase. I was gonna say something like, we need Rox's son to go free your dad or something like that. Somebody's got to go break out Pluton, man. It's gotta happen. If Jaya had eyes filled, would it be a whale? All right, hold on. You might be cooking. Hold on. Let me look at this. Let me look at the map again. Would it be a whale? Let me look at the combined map. Do I have the combined map? I do. I don't, well, I kind of see what you're saying. I don't know if it would exactly be that, but the fact that Oda did that fish thing and then had the eyes is really, that's a One Piece theorist type of thing, right? Like, where you're gonna, it's like, what if the Hachinosu skull wasn't a skull but a fish? And then what if that ties to the fishmen of the past? And like, you bring out a bunch of other theories. Like, people would say you're crazy, but now we know that's true. So now if we go back to all the other skulls and we try reasoning, hey, what if it was actually this? I mean, I think that's fair game. I don't know what this would be. Because, like, the way the teeth are shaped isn't really whale tail-like. So I don't know what that would be, but that is definitely something worth thinking about, for sure. I don't know. Good thought, Baby Bull. I'm gonna think on that some more and look at some of the other skulls we know of. I feel like now I'm also thinking Onigashima. I mean, that one has the horn, so that was probably a skull. But even that one, maybe, I don't know. Mr. Bushido, I see you got 4 super chats in a row, dude. Thank you so much for the generosity. I'm just gonna read them all straight through. Garp attacks are celestial named and Roger are spiritual. Did Garp? Well, I'll read. Oh, yes. I thought they might be all related, but they're not. So Garp attacks are celestial named and Rogers are spiritual. I guess, yeah. So like Garps are like space themed, like galaxy related stuff, and then we have like divine departure. So I guess that makes sense. Like it's kind of a cool juxtaposition because they're both like the what's above us, quote unquote, right? Like space and outer space, the galaxies, all that stuff, that's above us. But you could also say like heaven is above us. So like it's both kind of like they're both reaching to a higher power, but of different sorts. So that's actually a really cool juxtaposition there. Did Garp like Shaki, or was he like Luffy and felt nothing? I don't think Garp. I think Garp, in the sense of reacting to the Kuja, I think Garp was a lot like Luffy, but Garp did have children at some point, so there has to be some woman that he found attractive. But I don't think, since we don't see him with heart eyes here, I don't think he would like it. Oda would probably throw that in if it mattered, but it seems like Garp is just focused on Roger and doesn't care, so I don't think he really reacted to the Kuja very much. So yeah, I think he was a lot like Luffy in that regard, except for whoever Luffy's grandma is, which I don't think it's her because she married Rayleigh. Kids, Jolly Roger has the flame hair on the skull. Yep. And it's funny. I was actually talking to, I think it was Always Sunny in Eddie's Lobby, I want to say. And he actually told me like, hey, Rox's Jolly Roger is kind of similar to Kids. And, but like, they're not the exact same, but kind of, because they're red and he has like the flaming thing. And I forget what I said, but it was, I don't even know if I said anything, but I basically was thinking, like, they're close, but not close enough. But now, they might be close enough for me to bring that up in a kid video that I may or may not be releasing sometime soon. That's interesting, dude. The kid parallels continue to grow, my friends. Scopper, yeah, Mr. Bushido. Okay, cool. Scopper also dresses like Shiki in the present. Copper. Does he? I gotta look that up. Yeah, I guess they both have the striped cloak thing. That's mainly it. So I guess they dress similar in that regard. So maybe they both got those from Elbaf. Maybe that's sort of the idea. Because for a long time, people thought that person meeting Crocus would be Shiki because of the striped shirt thing, and that's what Shiki wears. But now we know it's Scopper, but Shiki, since they both wear that thing, maybe it is just an Elbaf thing. Because Shiki didn't have it when he was at Elbaf, right? He had on like a Wano-looking thing, like a cross. Like it was like, yeah, like the lines were crossing. They were perpendicular, not parallel, I think. So that's interesting, dude. Ian Kemboy, you said Dax hoarding videos, bro. I got like so many scripts that are like mostly done, and I don't know. I'm trying to get some done, man. I feel like I'm doing multiple at the same time, and I just need to go get one done and work on the next. But keep getting ideas. Look, you're gonna have a video in a few days, one way or the other. That's what I can tell you for sure, guaranteed. Because I don't think I have really much to say about this chapter for like a chapter review type video. Because the last one, I mean, it would have been a sin for me to not do a video on the last chapter. This one, I mean, there's some cool stuff to talk about, but I feel like the redacted video will more than suffice. Because I feel like a lot of it's just kind of guessing things. Like, is this guy related to Don Krieg or whatever with Silver Axe? Like, it's a lot of, this is more of a setup chapter, I would say. There is a little bit of delivery here too, but it's I don't know if setup is the right word. This is like an intermediary chapter. It's like Oda's just kind of filling in the gaps of information we should probably know. Like if we're gonna go see them raid Elbaf or we're gonna see God Valley, it would make sense that we see them on the Hachinosu a little bit, kind of like establishing their roots there. So it makes sense we had this intermediate chapter, but I don't think God Valley is gonna happen right away. So we have a little bit more here. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to say about this chapter, so I think I'm gonna get right to the other videos I got cooking. Which, like I said, there's plenty. Mike Nicholas. I think I'm saying it right. Said, love Dax Sake, bro. I appreciate you, Mike. Thank you very much. And oh, there we go. There we go. Ian Kemboy said, yeah, a vid with Hidden Island will be peak. He retired, right? From One Piece, or well, like the making content at least. I know he posted on his channel about basically his dog passed away. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but you can go on his channel and read the whole post. So if I get anything wrong, I apologize. I'm not trying to, but it was a long post. But he said his dog basically passed away, and he's been having he had a lot of complications with his dog leading up to that, which makes it even more sad. But he always like did videos with his dog, and he just finds it really hard to work on content and talk about One Piece without his dog anymore. And I totally understand that with being someone with 2 dogs myself. So and he said he wasn't gonna make any more One Piece content. I mean, maybe he'll show up to some Reverie or some random discussion stuff, but he posted on his channel that he can't really make videos anymore, and he's not making content about One Piece. So I mean, it's super sad. He makes great videos. If you have never even heard of him, go check out his videos now because they're still really good. But yeah, he unfortunately he retired from the One Piece, from making YouTube videos, I guess I should say. He's not. I'm sure he's still reading the chapters and loving the story, but yeah, unfortunately, that's what happened. So it is sad. If one of my dogs passed away suddenly, I I mean, I would have a really hard time making videos, so I get where he's coming from for sure. So it's really sad. If you guys want to go show him some support, I would imagine he still checks in from time to time to check out comments or whatever, so maybe that's a good call. But unfortunately, for at least for now, I wouldn't expect too many more videos. I haven't talked to him personally, so I don't know what his plans are or anything. But that's what his community post said, so it is sad, but like I said, I get it, man. Pets are a member of the family, and it's hard, man. I like you guys, like I talk about Cliff all the time, right? Cliff always loves running to the window, barking, interrupting the streams. But I mean, where's he at? Cliff, you down here? He's right under my feet right now, and I also got Ralph over there as well. So like, yeah, man, if I lost either of them, it'd be real tough, real tough. Spencer, you said you loved his accountability board. Yeah. Oh, dude, that. I still think about. I've actually been thinking about carrying the torch in that regard because I'm trying to stay accountable myself. Which, like last summer, I was running all the time outside, and like I was getting my miles back up there. This summer, it has been so hot that I feel like I'm just gonna die every time I try to run at all. So I haven't been keeping myself accountable, as they would say. So yeah, maybe I need to carry the torch in that regard. Miguel, you said, yeah, mine's at my feet right now. Yeah, man, dogs are a man's best friend. They are literal family members, bro. So it takes a toll on you when they go away. So like I said, if you guys, if anybody wants to go even just comment on his post and say, I just saw this, whatever, I'm sure he would appreciate it for sure. And if there ever was an avenue to get him back, I would imagine, that kind of support would help, but it might also just not be possible because it's just hard to fathom what people go through when their pets pass away for sure. Davon, aka Schoolboy Beats, super chatted $2. No, I'm talking about when Ace crashed Buggy's ship. Let me look it up. Oh, you mean when he was looking for food? Okay, I was thinking like there was an actual like big battle or whatever, but you mean when he got there to get food? Okay, in that regard. Maybe that's what he's going for. The thing for me is like they didn't really fight because like Buggy was like, oh, he's on Whitebeard's crew. Let's not bother him, right? So it's like a little bit different. It's almost like an inversion because it's showing that Buggy isn't ready to throw hands with anybody at any given time like Rox is, if that makes sense. Because like if that was Rox in Buggy's shoes, they're throwing hands immediately, right? Ace isn't making it off the ship unless it's in a body bag, probably. But in that case, it's almost like Buggy cowered away. And so that's an interesting parallel in that regard, because it's like and that kind of even carries now into the Cross Guild, where Buggy isn't gonna out compete people, like he's not gonna fight people and win with like pure force, but he tries to, do it the sneaky way. Like he said, we don't need to beat Straw Hat, Red Hair, or Blackbeard. We just need to beat them to Laugh Tail. And it's that same kind of thing where like we don't have to fight everybody. We just need to get to the final island first. So that's kind of a cool. That's a cool connection. The more I think about it, that is actually really interesting. Brandon King with the $2. What if the fish skull, the Hachinosu skull, housed the fish fruit, then the world government stole it? Are you talking about Kaido's fruit? That's a cool connection. That is a really cool connection, Brandon King. Spencer, I was like, fish death, fish apple. I know, it took me a second too. Sometimes I read the super chats before I tell you, and I have to mentally think like, what exactly are they going for? So yeah, what if the Hachinosu skull housed the fish fruit and the world government stole it? I really like that, actually, because that's kind of been my theory from the beginning, or I wouldn't even say like my theory. I feel like that's the Occam's razor in this situation, because if you go back to chapter 1096, Big Mom's like, I'm gonna go get it, and Kaido's like, it'll be useless in your hands, Lin. And then everyone else is like, finders keepers, first to get it, or I forget. They were all talking about getting something. And then we saw Big Mom go right for Kaido's fruit, and she even told Kuma, like, give me that one too, which would imply like like Kaido's fruit was of higher importance than the Pawpaw fruit. And that makes me think Kaido's fruit could be the focus of the whole thing. And, you know, if that fruit was in the fish skull, so to speak, and then the government took it from there and it's a fish fruit, that would just fit kind of beautifully. So I mean, I think that's probably the safest answer. Like, you know, we were talking about like it being Loki's fruit or the Elbaf legendary fruit, whatever that one is. And I know we talked about New Poppy's theory, which, like I said, if there was ever a week to do a full video on that, it's this week, I think. But I think Kaido's fruit being like the treasure, or being the one, I don't like, because Rox obviously didn't eat it, but being like of a high importance fruit that, you know, Rox was keeping around, I think that makes a lot of sense. And like I said, they all went for it, so that would be cool. I think that would be kind of cool, Brandon King. I'm a fan. I don't know if like that fruit would be like of enough importance itself to be the treasure and to make the government go after Hachinosu. Like, that's the thing, is what's the story behind Kaido's fruit that makes it that important? Because it's really strong. We haven't seen Kaido awaken it, which I think could be the story, especially if, and I doubt this is the case, but if it somehow ends up being that like Kaido's fruit was the Elbaf fruit, then maybe that's what Rox is talking about. Like, you know, Harold needs to eat it and awaken it, because like, or what did he say? Like, oh no, let me go back and reread that. Oh, it's down here. Oops. It'll only show its true power if Harold eats it. Like, what if Kaido ate it and he's not Harold, and that's why he can't show the full power, and he's not a, you know, it's like Harold would have been better with it. Which again, I don't think Kaido's fruit is the same fruit as Elbaf, but if Oda introduces the idea that Loki didn't actually eat it and they have it mixed up, then the floodgates open for all that kind of stuff. From New Poppy's theory to Brandon King's theory, to a theory I've had that maybe it was the Nika fruit and they got swapped or something. I don't know. Because maybe there's just multiple rubber-esque fruits. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It all depends if the Loki eating that fruit thing is actually accurate. That's kind of the linchpin. Karan Hamid, you said, look at Zoro's jacket on the color page. There's something written. Could be the name Jones. Let me go look at this. Let me take a peep here. Oh, went to the wrong part. Oh, I see what you're talking about there. It could be. I'm just like, is there enough room for there to be an N and an E there? It almost looks like it's J-O blank S, like just one letter. Like Jobs? I don't know what that would be. Maybe it is Jones though. Like I mean, maybe I'm just overthinking the spacing of it. That's a cool catch, man. Seriously. Now I'm going to look at the rest of this. It's interesting, too, that Zoro and Sanji have Band-Aids. It's like they both just got done fighting or something, maybe. I don't know. Dexter, you said I have some stuff on the devil fruit. Well, we'll send it my way. Dean's Life, you said Loki ate something because he had those cuffs on. For sure. Yeah, he definitely ate a devil fruit. It's just like, you know how they're kind of confused about Loki, like they have the story wrong where he doesn't seem to be actually that bad of a guy. And, you know, his mom started the curse BS about him, which I don't think is actually true, but people maybe propagandized it into existence by saying like every problem was Loki's fault. It's like, since they didn't have that story straight, maybe they didn't have the devil fruit story straight either. But he definitely did eat something, like you said. He has a devil fruit. There is no doubting that. It's just, is it the same one that they're talking about here, like that special legendary fruit? Which I think it is. I don't think that's something they would get wrong, but at the same time, like, we called Luffy's fruit the Gomu Gomu forever, and then it's like, oh, hey, guess what? It's actually the Nika fruit, so who knows? Shaq D. Meringue, you said Tritoma is crocodile? I mean, did we... Let me look this up. So she died, at least from, was it the SBS? Okay, Elder Neon said in chapter 522 that the previous pirate empress, which would have been Tritoma, or Tritoma, she died from love sickness. So that couldn't be crocodile unless the idea is she got love sickness and then left, or maybe she got turned into a guy. So like she didn't have the same effects or something. I don't know what Oda would be doing there, but I think she's probably just dead personally. I think actually the question is then, who did she have love sickness for? Because if Gloriosa had it for Roger, and then Shaki, I don't know if Shaki ever had love sickness, but she obviously ended up with Rayleigh. What's the Tritoma situation? I know there's a lot of there used to be a lot of theories when this first came out. I don't know if they're still alive, but people think that this could be Luffy's mom. I think there is a next to zero chance that Luffy's mom would get introduced in an SBS. If that SBS didn't happen and this chapter happened, then I would be much more game for it. But I feel like Oda introducing Luffy's mom in an SBS like that is just... It's like he's going to probably keep Luffy's mom under wraps as long as he could. And I think he more so released the Tritoma information because it's like... Or Toritoma, whatever the name is. Because it's like... whatever storyline he had for her, he's probably not going to develop as strongly as he originally thought, and I think that's when he starts leaking it in SBSs, is because, you know, he's not going to... It's kind of like Kid's flashback with like the gang leaders and stuff on his home island and with Victoria. I'm thinking that those aren't the most important parts of Kid's backstory, so Oda's like, I'll just leak those now. Who cares? You know, it's not... I don't want to spend time on that later, so I'll give some people some food for thought for now. I think Tritoma fits in the same thing, where she's probably going to fall by the wayside. Like, we might learn who the love sickness was and a little bit about her, but I don't think she's going to have, like, a major plot in general. So I don't think the Luffy's mom thing is going to be it, personally. Now, the idea that she maybe fell in love with Dragon, which I'm seeing some people say in the chat, that could still work, because as we're seeing here, Gloriosa didn't end up with Roger. So if Tritoma ends up having hots for Dragon, then I mean that could still work, but I doubt she's going to end up being Luffy's mom. That, I think, is... it's going to be the same thing that we're seeing here, like how Roger ended up going with like Porcus de Rouge, a completely random girl that we didn't really know existed and was in a completely different part of the ocean and all that stuff. I think that's probably what Oda's going to do. But Dragon's a good guess, because we also had that, what did she say? Love is a hurricane, I think, is what Elder Neon said, which I always thought was a potential dragon reference for if he has the wind fruit, right? So I think, Dragon's a good answer. I like that. Davon, aka Schoolboy Beats, again, bro. I appreciate you so much. Oh wait, Mr. Bushido, I'll get to yours in a second. I already teed up Davon's, but I just saw yours, so give me a second. Something makes me feel like Rox or Roger had a bromance, especially how Rox treated him at God Valley. He seemed like he was the only one that could reason with him. I agree with that 100%. I think you're definitely on the money. I don't think Rox and Roger like had like this mortal, you know, hate for each other in the way that like Luffy and Blackbeard probably do right now. I don't think Rox and Roger had quite that deep of a beef, because even if you go to like when Roger was jumping off the ship at God Valley, he was like, do you know how I felt this past year? Which is a Lodestar connection, because a year before that's when Roger went to Lodestar. Even that isn't like a I hate you and want to kill you thing. That's like a I'm upset because you beat me there, or, you know, you accomplished something before I did, or it's like a more friendly kind of banter type situation. So I agree. I think they had a little bit of a bromance going on where they kind of respected each other. The question there is, like, why did Rox not do a Davey back fight to steal Roger then? And we were actually talking about this in the Discord, and I think it's because Roger didn't get to a high enough level to warrant that kind of attention until after Rox had his crew fully established. Because I don't think Rox just did Davey back fights like the second he found somebody that would be useful. I think he more so like targeted specific people to make his crew. Like, okay, if I get, you know, and I don't know if he did it by position, but I think he kind of envisioned what he wanted his final crew to look like, made them, and then once he got them all amassed together, then he's like, all right, let's make a flag, establish a crew, boom, now we're just like all the other crews. And then I don't know if he kept doing Davey back fights, because once you have the flag, you can have your crew ended completely by a Davey back fight. If you do Davey back fights before you have an official crew, then worst case scenario, you lose a single person. So I think, like, at the point we're at now, I'm not sure he kept doing them, so maybe that's why he didn't get Roger on the crew. Meaning that Roger just became a big shot kind of too late to join Rox, I guess. Because, like, because Rox was sailing, excuse me, Rox was out there doing crazy stuff before Roger what would have been like a big shot. Like, what was it? 56 years ago, Rox made it into the flower room. Was Roger even sailing at all at that point? Like, it was around that time frame that he started, because we know Brooke said that he was a rookie, and Brooke got lost 52 years ago, so we're kind of in the same time frame. But, like, if Rox wanted to, he could have got rookie Roger on his crew anytime he wanted, right? So I don't think he ever actually did a Davey back fight with him, but I think by the end they definitely, like, respected each other for sure. I'm on that agenda for sure. Mr. Bushido, let me say yours before I forget this one. Silver Axe looks like I wanted with Wang Ji. Oh, dude, I agree with that. I've come around a little bit on Wang Ji's design, only because, like, if he is related to Caribou, there's some cool plot stuff there, and if he's going to be related to him, he's got to look a certain way. So, like, even though it's not my favorite design, it's kind of whatever, because I was really hyped for Wang Ji. But Silver Axes, this guy, he's got a badass design. I'm a big fan of Silver Axe. Kyo the Wicked. It's a cool name, man. All the Rox pirates are just cool. Like, all. Well, let me scroll back down. Are there any that aren't? Well, Streusen is not cool. Streusen is a creep. Streusen, if there's one person, honestly, in general in One Piece that needs cooked, it's him. And dude saw, like, 8-year-old Big Mom or 6-year-old Big Mom eat Mother Carmel, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go, get her. I'm gonna use her to be powerful. Like, bro, that is some twisted stuff. But other than him, all the Rox pirates are just freaking cool, man. Even Barbell. Just, that is still one of the craziest designs Oda's ever done. Vex, the Lurking Legend, my guy, member for 25 months, a little over 2 years, bro. I appreciate you. Could Rox and Emu be working off the same intel? I think so, but could you give me a little more backdrop to what you might mean here? Like, are you saying, like, they both, are you talking like Void Century information? Like, they both know the same stuff about the Void Century and Davy Jones and the D-Clan, and so they're kind of playing a chess match in that regard? Or do you mean working off the same intel as far as, like, I don't know, the God Valley situation with the fruit and all that stuff? Because I feel like there's actually kind of a story to tell there both ways. They both mentioned the significance of Elbaf and the future of the world. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, no, 100%. And I also just saw you said, sorry, I'm late, Lake D stream. No, man, you're here right on time, bro. The party starts when you get here. Yeah, so we talked about that earlier a little bit. I completely agree that they know something about this future war. Like, they know that whatever side the Giants are on is probably going to be the winning side. That's the vibe I get. Because I think you're referring to chapter 1146, 1147, somewhere around 10 chapters ago, when Gunko said, like, this is the opening salvo of the final Great War, and it said that whatever side the Giants pick will greatly change the outcome this time. That is this same thing right here, where they said Elbaf's the key to bringing down the Holy Land. It seems to me like Emu thinks the opposite is true, that Elbaf is the key to not letting the Holy Land come down. So they're definitely both operating off. I don't know if there's like a poneglyph that says it, or I mentioned in my last video, which I said if we hit 3K likes, I would hurry up, and we did hit 3K likes, so I'm hurrying up, but I don't know if I'm going to go fast enough. But I think Rox read the Rio poneglyph, which I can't really go into the entire argument because that would be a whole 25-minute video probably on that. But basically, we know at Laugh Tale you get the full story of like the true history. You find the One Piece and all that stuff, but you can also get the full story just by getting the Rio poneglyph, which is 9 different poneglyphs, like 9 specific ones that when you read all 9 together, it tells you the full story of the history or whatever. Now, does that give you every single detail that you get at Laugh Tale? I kind of doubt it. I think it's more just like what the Void Century was, not maybe there's like a lot of details about either Joy Boy or the D-Clan or something left out. I don't know what it would be, but I don't think it's the exact same. But that is another way to understand the history without going to Laugh Tale, because could Rox have made it to Laugh Tale? I mean, he's the Chuck Norris of One Piece. He can do whatever he wants. But I think narratively, it's going to take away from Roger a lot if we find out Rox went there and frowned or just didn't care about it and never told anybody. Like it would feel a little weird, at least to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I just like Roger too much. But since Oda introduced the Rio poneglyph, which I think Robin said is actually her dream, is to get that true history, which again, Laugh Tale could do the same thing, so I don't know if it matters, but Oda can make Rox be aware of the same things as Roger pretty much without him going to Laugh Tale, and I kind of like that setup so that they're on the same page, but they're not stepping on each other's toes in that regard. So yeah, Rox knows some stuff, man. He was involved in the taboos of the world or whatever, right? I think that's how Son Goku phrased it. And whenever the government says, "Oh, you're involved in some taboo," that means you're reading stuff they don't want you to read. So yeah, for sure. Dexter, I sent my DM about the devil fruit stuff. It's long though. Fair warning. Let me see how long it is. All right, it's not that long. I probably won't read this whole thing, but okay, I thought you were gonna break down the translation of chapter, what was it, like 1131, 1132, somewhere around there, when we learned that Loki ate the fruit, because in the TCB they weren't clear that Loki ate that fruit, but in the official they were, and I feel like that's kind of the biggest thing. But basically what Dexter's saying is it could be that the Nika fruit was on Elbaf, because like the silhouette in front of the chest doesn't look like Loki. The timeline kind of matches up because Harold died 14 years ago. Shanks got the fruit 13 years ago, so maybe there's like, that explains the connection of how it got there. And then you also said, in Japanese, it's not stated that only Harold can bring out the full power, but Dexter's literal translation of it would be that thing only demonstrates its power when eaten by Harold. It says display or demonstrate. It doesn't say that he could only bring its full power out, but to my understanding, it's more so only when that happens type situation. Okay, so it's not that Harold is the only person that exists, but just that maybe more so like he is a capable person of awakening. Like he is eligible to do it, where maybe not everyone is. I think that's maybe a way to interpret that. And then you said that the Yami's a good fit for one of the two as well, since Blackbeard looked for it. And that the Yami and the Gomu look pretty similar, so that would be cool. So yeah, and that's the thing, is like you're talking about the timeline and like the silhouette and stuff. Like, I think all that is like, it makes for a good theory regarding the Nika fruit. The problem is just going back to chapter 1130, whatever it is, where they said Loki ate it. It's like if Loki ate that legendary fruit and that's confirmed, that throws a wrench in like most of the theories, I feel like, about the Nika fruit or whatever. But again, maybe they mixed it up. And maybe the kanji isn't that clear. Maybe the official wasn't right. Because remember, the official, they were the ones who called the mother flame the mother frame first. And I get the R's and L's can be swapped. And at the time, we didn't see the flame. So maybe they thought like mother frame, like a spaceship or something. Like, I get that there were reasons for it. But all I'm saying is the official gets stuff wrong, right? So they're not perfect. No translator is perfect. You kind of want to take as many translations as you can and opinions on those translations to kind of get the full picture, because context is everything. And like I said, sometimes TCB will be wildly different than the official, and maybe the true answer is halfway in between. So yeah, I don't know. But either way, I know it was a great chapter. Oh, sorry, I just refreshed and I just saw there was a bunch of chats. The chat stopped loading earlier, so I thought I was getting to the point where I'm like, all right, nobody is responding. I guess it's time to end it. But no, there's a bunch of chats here, so give me a second. In that chapter, it says something that should translate to devour. Okay, you said what chapter was it? I'll go check. It was like 1131 or 11. Like, it's right as the crew's getting to Elbaf. Because remember how half the crew was separated at the beginning? Give me a second. I think it's 1130, the Accursed Prince, I think. I'm gonna scroll down and see. Yep, it's 1130. Yeah, because in TCB, the way they said it is, you see, there's a legendary devil fruit said to be passed down through the royal family. His desire to eat it was so great that he killed his own father, Harold. So that, if you read the TCB, all that's implying is that he really wanted to eat it, and he did so bad that he went and killed his dad to do it. But it doesn't actually say that he succeeded, right? Like, maybe he did want to, but did he actually do it? But then if you go read the official, I forget exactly the way they phrase it, and I don't have a Viz subscription, unfortunately, but it said that he ate it. Like I don't know if they said it like he wanted to eat it so bad he killed his father and did just that, or something to that effect, but they did say he ate it. So that's, to me, that's the linchpin, honestly. And also about the Capitan Sergius. Capitan Sergius. I think I'm saying that right. At first I was like, I don't know, I was trying to pronounce it a really weird way, but Sergius probably makes more sense. And actually, it was a really random, but I haven't thought about this guy in a long time. When I was growing up, like when I was in high school, I was playing a lot of basketball, like pickup basketball and just like rec league basketball. And one of my favorite players I ever played with was named Sergio, and he was hilarious. He didn't go to my school. I don't know anything about him, but he would just show up to practice and he would play on our teams. And I don't know how he did it, because you're supposed to go to my school, but he didn't do it. But he was awesome. And so that's the first time I thought about that guy in a long time. But as for Sergius, if Rox had the Yami fruit, he could have beat Emu. He didn't have it for sure. I don't think Rox had the Yami fruit. The dark fruit to me is out of the question, because Whitebeard would have noticed, right? Whitebeard acted really surprised that he got his powers, like, sapped from him when he was about to hit Blackbeard. And just in general, like, whenever Thatch got it and then Blackbeard stole it, it's like, if Rox had it, there would have just been so many red flags at the time. It's just, Whitebeard would have had to have said something. So I don't think that's the case for sure. Davon, aka Schoolboy Beats. Oh, wait, give me a second. Convenient that Tritoma dies 1 year before One Piece's start. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. Let me go see her wiki page real quick. Also, I just before I get back to that, I just saw something really interesting on the wiki page, which is that Hancock states that the previous Empress pardoned Gloriosa. So Gloriosa got in trouble for leaving the Kuja and joining the Rox Pirates. Which, did she join Rox to get revenge on Roger for not loving her? Oh my god, guys. Boa is so joining the Cross Guild. It's over. Boa is... If Gloriosa joined Rox despite loving Roger, Boa is without question joining the Cross Guild. I've been saying that this will happen for a while, and I think most people kind of agree with it, but I see people's, hold up with it because, like, Boa's supposed to like Luffy. They're supposed to be on the same side. Now, if Gloriosa loved Roger but got salty about it and joined Rocks to get revenge, Boa's doing the same damn thing, 100%. But it's interesting that Hancock states the previous Empress pardoned Gloriosa because since Gloriosa left the Kuja and joined Rocks, she probably wasn't welcomed back. But then Tritoma was like, no, I'll let you come back. It's fine. And then that's what even let Gloriosa hang out with Boa and for us to meet her and stuff. So that's just a cool weaving of things. And let's see. And she died 13 years ago. Yeah, because Hancock said that the new Empress died 11 years ago, pre-time skip. And actually, I think that kind of precludes this woman being Luffy's mom, because Luffy would have already been born. And I mean, could Oda find a way to make it work? Sure, but I feel like if she already has a kid and then she has love sickness and dies, it's like, did she fall in love with another man? Did she have a kid with somebody she didn't love first? And like, it feels like the Kuja would really only, or at least the Empresses would only have kids with the people they really love, like with the love sickness stuff. So I feel like that's a little weird. So I feel like that might mean it's not going to be Luffy's mom, because she would have been around for several years, you know what I mean? While he was still alive. So I feel like that, I don't know. That's just an interesting timeline. But Davon, you said, convenient that Tritoma dies 1 year before One Piece's start. But she died 13 years ago, though, right? So by One Piece's start, do you mean like, I'm trying to think, you mean like when Luffy first set sail, like that kind of start? Because that would have been, that was obviously much earlier, or like the death was a lot earlier. So I'm not, did you think it was like a different timeline for her death? Or am I just totally blanking? There's definitely a chance that I'm just getting it wrong here. Eden's Blue, my guy in the chat, Mr. Blue. Yeah, this chapter made that idea stronger for me. Are you talking about Boa joining Cross Guild? Because that, to me, that's a lot. Like, I already thought it was a lock, to be honest with you. I think all the warlords are virtually a lock. Now, the newer, well, other than Jinbei. Jinbei's not going to leave the crew. But like, Law is kind of an iffy one because he was a later warlord. Like, he wasn't one of the OGs. Like, I don't think Kuma's going to join. But like the free agent warlords like Moria, Boa, those people are going to join the Cross Guild. I'm like locked in. 1 year before Luffy eats his fruit. Okay, so that's what you mean. Well, it's not even you who said that, but Marxist, Cobanist, you said 1 year before Luffy eats his fruit. That might make more sense. Yeah, I mean, I doubt that would mean that she had the fruit or anything like that. Not that I'm even saying you guys implied that, but I'm trying to think of what that connection could be. I don't know. I mean, so she died 13 years ago. So that's the same day the same year that Shanks got the fruit. So maybe we're really reaching, but maybe like they were protecting the fruit, and after she died, it got taken by the government because there was like a power vacuum, and then maybe Shanks took it. I don't know what the story would be exactly, but that is interesting just to think that, that there is some connection. Davon, you just chimed in and said, story starts 12 years before the current time. Yeah, makes sense now. I was thinking like, One Piece started 28 years ago. Luffy's 19. Like, I was trying to... Roger died 25. I was like, what exactly start? But you mean like that... When Luffy got his fruit in chapter 1. And it makes sense now. Yeah, I'm not sure what the... Again, I'm like... It is interesting timing. I'm not sure if there's anything to it, but it is interesting. But I'm glad you brought it up just because, like I said, the fact we found that pardon thing, that is... Like, I don't know if that really matters much, but it seems like Toritoma's a nice woman if she's going to pardon people. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if pardoning people is always a good thing, as we've seen lately in the country, but I don't know. It's interesting nonetheless. I mean, given if the theory that Amazon Lily was founded by Nefertari Lily, then I could definitely see there being a connection between the Gomu Gomu and, the Nika fruit, I should say, and like just this whole situation, because what if like Joy Boy died and Lily had the fruit and was trying to protect it and took it to Amazon Lily, and maybe that's the reason Amazon Lily even started. I don't know exactly how that all works, but maybe they thought like an island of women would be safer to protect the fruit. I don't know exactly how that works, but I could see something there. If Lily started it, that would make a lot of sense for sure. Capitan Sergius said Laboon might be an ancient weapon. Oh, I'm with you on that. Listen. I actually think Laboon is going to be... Like, is he an actual ancient weapon? Probably not, but I do think he's a good stand-in for the ancient weapons. Or not stand-in, but like... kind of a parallel, because he's like a living creature that got modified to the point where like people can live in him, which, I mean, he's an island whale, so it makes sense. But if all the ancient weapons are going to be living things that are either controlled or modified or have special powers or whatever, but just giant living creatures that people are controlling, I mean, Laboon kind of fits into that mold, right? Shaq D. Meringue. Oh, Amazon Lily is connected to Alabasta, so Tritoma's crocodile confirmed. Let's go. That's pretty funny. That's funny. I mean, yeah, honestly, like I actually love that idea that Tritoma is crocodile, and maybe the love sickness is just a excuse so nobody questions who crocodile really is. But since that was 13 years ago that she supposedly died, and Crocodile was doing stuff even before that, right? Like I think he fought Whitebeard like 20 plus years ago. So like he was already like a known commodity. But I love the idea nonetheless. I'm not going to lie. That's one of the better theories, I think. Also, Alexander Fiorello. I did not want to forget your super chat. I saw it, and I just been speaking my stream of consciences here. $5. Hope you enjoyed the chapter and had a good one, brother. It's like TCB heard us last chapter and added more P ads. Never ending sorrow, bro. Yeah, they look, my pop-up blocker works, but I'm telling you right now, anytime somebody asks me like if I'm on Discord and we're talking about like a theory, or like, oh no, this person said this, not that, and they're like, can you show me the panel? I refuse to look up the panel on my phone. I always wait till I get home and get on the computer, because dude, it's horrible getting on TCB on your phone, man. It's honestly, it makes me almost sad. It's like, it's not just that there's P ads. It's not just that. It's that the ads take up the entire phone. Like, I'm just trying to scroll to get to the next page, and I have a pop-up come up, click that, I go back, I have like 4 more things on screen. The X is too small for me to hit with my hand because my hands are too big. It's a whole thing, man. And TCB, I know you guys gotta make some money and pay for the servers or whatever. I get it. I'm not mad that there's ads. I'm mad that there's that many ads and that there's that many P ads. So Alexander, I'm with you. We'll keep bringing this up every week. And maybe one day they'll listen to us. I'm not super confident, but we'll see. And then Davon again, bro. Davon, seriously, thank you so much for your generosity today, bro. All of you as usual. Luffy's born 19 years ago. That's when Boa's captured. Yeah, that's always an interesting connection too, right? I know people have brought that up in a lot of theories, with like, is there something with Luffy and the Kuja tribe as far as him being like someone's child or whatever? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Oda's cooking there, or if it's just happenstance. I mean, that always is a possibility, right? Because like for 19 years ago, like if Oda ended up making there be something important that happened like 18 or 17 years ago, because like he could kind of have Boa taken sort of whenever. Now her being freed 16 years ago after post time skip? Hold on. Let me look this up. I always get this confused. Okay, it occurred when Boa was 16, so that would have been 15 years. Okay, so that doesn't line up. I was going to say, like, that might line up because of the Reverie or something. Like, if she got freed, it kind of has to happen on, like, a certain year, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But regardless, maybe the 19-year thing with Boa is happenstance. Maybe there's something to it. this is always kind of where it's like hard to tell, I feel like. Tiny Angry Gnome, you said Shiki and Silveraxe both have the Wicked epithet. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. I don't know. Well, so in the official, they didn't call Shiki the Wicked. They said Shiki. I don't know what. I could probably look it up. I'm actually curious now. Because there's a lot of stuff last chapter that I really wanted to check the official for. It was Mobster Shiki, which Shiki the Wicked is like 10 times as cool as Mobster Shiki. So look, if I'm choosing, I'm choosing TCB all day. But it could just be that, I mean, if somebody can look at the kanji, maybe whatever the Wicked is here, maybe it's the same, and so maybe it is literally the same name regardless of what we're translating it to. So I don't know, like the fact that they're also like Shiki became Golden Lion and he's Silveraxe, so gold versus silver. I don't know if that's also a thing. It was Shiki the Yakuza in another translation. Interesting. Shiki. So if we have those three, Yakuza and Mobster are pretty, like, a lot closer than the Wicked. But this is TCB we're reading, so maybe they just did the Wicked again because it was the same thing. I don't know. Dexter, if you're in the chat, I mean, you don't feel like you have to. You've done enough work today, but if you have any info on that, that'd be helpful. Actually, I saw earlier you said you can't find 1130 in Japanese right now. They're hiding the evidence. They don't want us to figure out the truth of Loki's fruit. That's Emu, just like the poneglyphs, just like the Void Sentry. Emu is hiding the truth from all of us. The wording just means wicked or evil, but can be used for organized crime too. Yakuza is not quite correct. It's kind of close. So Dexter, but do they have the same thing? Like is Shiki's epithet the same as Silveraxe's? Like, is it the same kanji, or is it just happenstance that both of these got translated to the Wicked, but they're not actually the same? Capitan Sergius, you said, what is TCB? What does it stand for? The Comic Brigade, I think, right? Maybe I'm way wrong. I don't know. But their logo is like is it a cup, a cupboard? So it's like TCB, the cup board. I always thought it was weird that cupboard is spelled cupboard, but the Comic Brigade, look, I know that. But it's just a scanlation site, Capitan. It's the most popular one, at least that I'm familiar, other than Viz, of course. Joyboy511, you said, do you think Kuzan could unfreeze the Giants? He's in Blackbeard's crew. Yeah, you're cooking. I had never even thought about that, but dude, no, that's almost headcanon. That's almost elevated to the guaranteed status for me. That is crazy, because you think about it in the sense of like, oh, dude, wait, we don't know why Kuzan was at Punk Hazard, right? He showed up at the end of the arc. I mean, he saved Smoker, but we don't know like what caused him to go there originally, and he was already working for Blackbeard by that point. Dude, yeah. And like, you think about it from Oda's perspective, he added Kuzan to Blackbeard's crew late. Blackbeard's fruits seem to have a purpose. He went after Boa's fruit for a certain reason. Like he has a plan with all these different powers. Even Moria, I think part of the reason he wanted him is for some shadow stuff, which was kind of hinted here. So I've always kind of wondered, like, what exactly does Blackbeard want Kuzan's fruit for? Not that he's like gonna kill Kuzan for it, although Lafitte did bring that up. But like, from just a narrative reason, there's probably something Blackbeard's gonna do with ice powers that benefit him. And one idea that I had, which I still like, honestly, is that if things start flooding, Kuzan can make icebergs that would float in the water, so they'd never have to worry about drowning no matter what happens, because they can just plop on a sheet of ice and they're good. But I like what you're saying even better. He unfreezes the Giants, because guess what? That parallels Jaguar Esau. And actually, that just gave me a really good point to my video, because I don't want to spoil it too much. Because this was actually one of the crazier points that I was thinking about removing. But I was like, I think I'm onto something. I just don't know how to argue it in a way that'll seem convincing. But what you're saying might be the pieces that I was missing for, because I'll say this much. Part of the idea is I think that some Gale Ra giants founded the island that Ida and Saul are from. Because we don't know that they're from the same island yet, but we know that Ida's from Samuanai Island, and we know that she talked about how Elbaf has a bad reputation, and that's in the South Blue. And we know Saul is from the South Blue, and he also said that Elbaf giants have a bad reputation. So I've already been thinking that they're from the same island for sure. And Saul obviously was a giant that got frozen, but brought back. He wasn't actually killed, right? It was just a nice time capsule. He was being saved for the future. So part of my theory is that this island, that like the Samuanai island that Ida and maybe Saul are from, might have been founded by some Gale Ra members. Like maybe a couple of them weren't frozen and they escaped, or maybe during the flood they just washed up there and they're like, well, we don't know we don't know how to get back to Elbaf, so we'll just stay here and start a new island or whatever. And again, that this is a small part to a bigger theory, but now that we've made this connection where Saul was a frozen giant brought back, maybe Kuzan will be used to bring back other frozen giants, and maybe Gale Ra ties to Saul and stuff. That just made the perfect connection of all these things. It's the perfect concoction. Yeah, Joy Boy, you're cooking, man. You're cooking. The chat froze for me, so I don't know if you guys are responding to this at all. Maybe I'm just batshit insane, but that. Oh yeah, I feel like Jimmy Neutron with the brain blast. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Tiny ignorant. Wait, stop. Too much cooking. Yeah, no, Joy. You know what? Hold on. Let me go take a screenshot. Because this is the first time I've heard that. Sometimes when I hear ideas from like 20 sources and I know the sources aren't connected, like they all kind of thought of it themselves, I'm kind of like, I don't know who to credit here, or if I credit anybody, because like it's kind of just it's in the zeitgeist. Like I don't know who owns the idea or anything, but you were the first person to tell me this, and it unlocked all sorts of ideas. So I'm gonna include this comment. It'll be funny if I edit it in a way where I'm like, and I couldn't piece it together until Joyboy511 did this. So that's such a good thought, dude. Seriously. There's this cooking gif, which I wish I could play it, but I don't have it on my stream deck. But there's this cooking gif that I use all the time in the Discord, where it's like a dude with like a giant wok, and he's like just flipping the rice like crazy way into the sky. That's you right now. Seriously. That is wild. All right, I got that comment saved. Sometimes it's a real pain when I don't save it right away, and then I'm like, oh, I really want to shout this person out, but I really don't want to go through the whole stream and find the one single chat. But I got it this time. You are spoiling One Piece, Shaq D Meringue says. Dude, this video I'm doing right now, it's a theory that I think people, if you don't vibe with it, or you don't like the character that it's the focus of, I can see why people will just say I'm crazy. But I genuinely think this is one of my like more likely theories that I've ever done. This one I'm working on right now, which it's going to be the next video. Now I was already working on it earlier. This chapter only made it better, so that video that's coming out ASAP. Mick Pulsar with the $5 super chat. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any older ones. I don't think we're good. Sweet. All right. Smiley's Fruit is still on Punk Hazard 2. Could be another pickup for Blackbeard's crew. That's a good point. Because for one thing, and maybe this is just me, but I love axolotls. Like axolotls are probably in like my top 5 favorite living creatures on the planet Earth. Like seriously, they are. Mudkip. When I play Gen 3 Pokemon, my brain doesn't even need to process the other options. And don't get me wrong, Torchic and Trico are great. Those, other than Gen 1, those might be the best starters that Pokemon's ever had. But Mudkip, for me, rises above the rest. I love axolotls, so I love that part. But axolotls are also amphibians, right? So, and amphibians don't technically breathe in the water, right? Like they have to come up for air occasionally, but they can be in there for a long time. And so I don't know if there's something to say there for like you know how Jack was a fishman and had a devil fruit, and he was able to like like even though he couldn't move in the water, he could still breathe, and he wasn't able, and he didn't have to die just because he fell in the water. And Kaido has a fish fruit. In my first video ever that I ever did on YouTube, for One Piece at least, I had some Call of Duty montages back in the day, but as for Kaido, my first video on One Piece was that Kaido's fish fruit will let him breathe in the water, and that might be where he's at right now. So he's stuck in a Jack situation, and then Kaido can just bring him out whenever he's ready, right? Like, just leave Kaido at the bottom of the sea until it's Kaido time again or whatever. But now Axolotl being an amphibian, I don't know if Oda can do something there where maybe, like if I'm Blackbeard and I got all these fruits, I probably want like a fish fruit or something that'll let me live if I fall in the water, right? And again, amphibians technically shouldn't work, but this is One Piece and we're close enough, so I would like that. And again, maybe I just love axolotls, but yeah, that's a really cool idea. That's a really, really cool idea. Killian, you said, I think Kuzan will free the giant, or free the Giants, kind of a reverse of what he did to Saul. 100%. 1000%. It's just, oh, dude. It's so locked in. Like, that's one of those ideas where when somebody says it, it's like all the synapses in my brain just fire. It's like, oh, yep, it makes perfect sense. There's no conflicts. There's reasons for this. We already have foreshadowings. Like, it's the perfect theory, you know. It has all the pieces of a Hallmark theory. Like, that's happening, bro. Kuzan is freeing the frozen giants on Punk Hazard. And if he doesn't, then somebody else will before he gets there, and then we'll learn that, like, that was Blackbeard's plan, but somebody messed it up. But I think it is gonna happen, right? That's 100% what Blackbeard's thinking. Shaq D. Meringue, you said, but I don't really see how he can unfreeze them. That's not really part of his powers. Maybe Blackbeard sent him to Punk Hazard to scout and make sure they were an ice time capsule rather than just normal frozen or dead. Well, I think the idea is that, like, for Saul, like, yes, he got frozen because of the ice powers, but it's still the same thing as the other giants being frozen, right? Like, whether you get frozen by Kuzan or just like a snowstorm, it gives you the same outcome. And so I guess the idea is just like, because you see how Saul had like all those scars on him, like he was still getting hurt. It's not like, yes, it's a nice time capsule, but it's not like a painless shield. You know what I mean? Like he was definitely frozen. Like he was cooked. Well, the opposite of cooked. Although if you get really cold, it feels hot. So kind of the same thing. But so I think it is the same. It's just the situation is when Kuzan will be able to take the ice away, because even though that's not ice he created, actually it is ice he kind of created. Now they were probably frozen, you know, a long time ago, but he also fought Sakazuki on Punk Hazard and probably made half the island frozen. So he kind of did do it, actually. But if we assume he got frozen even before that, which I think is likely, then I think all he has to do is just take the ice away, and then the question is just, are they still going to be alive or are they dead? So, you know, maybe it's been too long and maybe they did die, because maybe Saul only suffered for like a couple weeks or something, and then he thawed out and he was all right, and these guys, maybe it's been too long and they actually died. But yeah, I mean, if Saul got to live through that, I feel like these giants could. There's also, do you guys know about Cairo Correo? Do you know who that is? You probably know who it is, you just don't know his name. I'll pull this guy. I think, is it going to drag over or no? Nope, I got to do the old WebP file roundabout thing to get this to work, so give me a second. This one. Do you guys remember this guy? Cairo Correo. And by the way, that name is actually pretty funny. So Cairo Correo, in the English, his name is Spera Heat Pack, because I guess the kanji is like a joke based off of like give me a hand warmer, because he's so cold. So Oda just made a joke name, and people thought this could be Rocks because he has the spiky hair, and it says is he preserved for the future, and so people talk about this guy. But this idea of like being saved for the future, like getting frozen so you can preserve yourself. Like that, I feel like that's a thing that One Piece has had for kind of a while. And so, yeah, like, if we're going with real life reasoning, then the giants should all be dead, but so should have Saul, and so should this guy, which Maybe he is. They're even asking, is he dead? Or, so I don't know. You know, like I said, in real life, they should definitely be dead. But in One Piece, I can see Kuzan wiping out the ice, and they're like, oh, what year is it? Dexter, you said, I don't know if you saw my message earlier about the Wicked earlier, but it's the same. I retract that statement. Not quite the same. Birch pointed it out, but very similar. Okay. So, I mean, it's close enough, right? If it's close enough, then we'll take it. I mean, maybe it just means that they're from like opposing groups, like they're both the same kind of wicked but in different ways. I don't really know how to even phrase that, but Marxist Cobanist, he said even Silver X has an insane design. Oda cooked so hard with the Rocks Pirates. I agree. Oh dude, he was in the kitchen, every stovetop, every oven, every fryer, every the drink machines were all dispensing all the drinks at once. The ketchup dispensers were just overflowing. I mean, you name it, man. Everything in the kitchen was just going off when Oda was doing this. Shaq, and you said, I guess Ors was kept alive through being frozen too, but he was really rotted. How long was Ors frozen? Actually, Ors was dead. Yeah, so Ors actually died. But he also had like some other injury, right? That Chopper brought up. I can't remember exactly. I think he broke his shoulder or something. I forget. But yeah, he died 500 something years ago, in Elbaf. But again, like with, I don't know, with the shoulder thing, I don't know if he was like, it was like after a fight. You know what I mean? I don't know what the difference is, but regardless, you know, if Oda's gonna have one giant get revived from the ice, and honestly, at the end of the day, though, guys, like it doesn't really matter whether the giants are alive, because like if they're frozen, they'll be kept in decent enough shape, kind of like Ors. But again, he had injuries, so I don't know what the full story is. But if those guys are kept in decent shape, then remember, S Gecko is out there, and the Shadow Fruit is a paramecia, so S Gecko probably has that. And Blackbeard has Katarina Devon with Saturn's form. So with that, they can command the Seraphim. So if they get S Gecko, they have shadow powers. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if the giants are alive. The problem would be like, would the zombies be as good at building stuff? Probably not, right? They probably would not have the same knowledge and expertise as they would have if they were still alive. So maybe that would be a problem. But regardless, Oda's building something there with unfreezing the giants, I think, for sure. And like I said, even if they're not alive, it's just Kuzan would be the easiest one to take away the ice. Like in one cool scene, like, all right, let's bring these guys back, and just the ice just like melts immediately or something. I don't know. I'm all about it. Rest in peace, Ors, Killer Comedy says. Agreed, man. And actually, I was about to say rest in peace, Ors Jr., but we actually don't know if Ors Jr. is dead. He is, what do they say? Status unknown. That's his official status. I don't know if that said it in a Beaver card, but they say it on the wiki, which usually means that, like, you know, the Beaver card nor the manga has confirmed it, which after Marineford, I think a lot of people would assume that, but we don't actually know that. So I feel like Little Ors Jr. is going to come back at some point. Joy Boy, you also said, bro, Dak, on Punk Hazard, the government had experiments to gigantify humans, and not just gigantify humans, but also make ancient giants. Remember, because of the numbers. So they did both. They were doing giant experiments all over the place. So look, Punk Hazard, the arc was a little questionable. I'm gonna be honest. Not my favorite arc. Not terrible, but maybe my least favorite of the post time skip. But the hype of Punk Hazard is sky high as far as like the future purposes of it, you know. Dexter, you said they are the same. Damn, I get confused. Kanji's my mortal enemy. Hey, well, yeah, you're doing better than I would, my friend. So they are the same. So the epithets, they are an epithet, but if they have the same one, then maybe it's a little bit different. But whatever that is, the title is the same for Shiki and Silver Axe. So they were definitely competing. So Golden Lion, Silver Axe, both called the Wicked. That's maybe has some mob connotations. And it's interesting that they have like some mob or Yakuza connotations when like Don Marlin is like a literal mobster, like, you know, probably Capone Beige's dad or from the same crime family at least. So it's interesting that he's doing that. But all right, guys, I think I'm about to get out of here because I haven't eaten today because I was debating eating before this, but I was like, if I go eat before the stream, I'm not making it to the stream because I'm gonna pass out or we're not. I mean, I got some other stuff I got to do, but anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna go to the taco truck. This guy up the street, basically I was driving by the other day. Because I go to there's a bunch of taco trucks near me, and I go to one that's right by my house. But I went up a little bit further up the street the other day, and this kid stopped me on the street asking for money. And where I live, it's not the best part of town. And there's people that ask for money pretty regularly. And it depends on the situation. Maybe I'll give them a couple dollars here or there. If they're like a regular, asker and they aren't getting anywhere, maybe I'll cut them off and just buy in some food, whatever. We got a lot of people like that's my point. And this little kid came up to me and asked me if I could give him a couple dollars, and I was like, dude, what do you need? Like, I was like, you're a kid, you should not be resorting to this. What do you need? Some food? You need me to go? Like, I got a credit card, you need to go to the gas station. Like, I felt so bad that a kid was doing this because I presumed his parents probably did the same thing and he probably didn't have a great home life or whatever, right? So anyway, he was like, can you just go get me some drinks from the taco truck up here because it's really hot out? And I'm like, dude, not a problem. So we went to the taco truck, and the guy noticed what I was doing, and he was really nice. He took a couple dollars off the total, and then also gave me like a bunch of coupons and stuff. I was like, if you come in, I got you, man. Like, I'm gonna hook you up. And I was like, bro, I'm coming. You were so nice. I'm gonna come because the food looks good too. But I was like, you know what? If you're gonna hook me up and you're gonna help that kid, and we're all gonna be good, I'm gonna help you too. So I'm going to the taco truck. I'm gonna go see I forget what it's even called. I just know where it is. But I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go see how their tacos are. Killer Comedy said 10 minutes until the Lions game. That's perfect. I'm gonna go to this taco truck. I'm gonna go. I don't know if I'm actually gonna watch it, but I will definitely keep up with it. Not that it ever matters because it's the Hall of Fame game. I grew up in Canton, Ohio, and I think I went to one or two of those, and I mean, they were cool. The Hall of Fame was all right, but once you go there for your class trip for like the 10th time, it's kind of like, all right, I've seen it, man. Like, yeah, you got a couple new busts this year from players from the 1960s that I don't recognize, but that's cool. So, the Hall of Fame in general to me is almost like a negative thing because, I mean, there when I was in 8th grade, maybe 7th grade, one of the two, my school went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame for it was 8th grade for our class trip. We went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which was 10 minutes down the street. The other schools that were right by us went to Washington, D.C. They went to New York City. They went to all this other stuff. We went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, dude. I was like, all right, I'm good. I'll go because I have to, but this is like, I've already been there. This is ridiculous. I want to go to NYC, man. I want to go to Washington, D.C., but nope. So it is what it is. So I'm going to go try that taco truck. That was a long-winded way of saying that. So also, I will do a redacted video this weekend. I don't know who it's with. I did not do a good job of planning on that ahead of time. But whenever I do figure it out, I'll open up the redacted questions in the Discord in case you guys have any. I feel like this chapter isn't quite as crazy as the last few, but I'm sure we'll still have a good discussion. And, we always have some good guests over there, so it usually gets interesting no matter what. But thank you guys, as always. Appreciate your support.